right, we're going live.
Right now? Good? What?
Oh, she was on the other show. You don't know Natalie? I think she was.
What she did?
She's a real estate person.
Oh yeah,
She sells real estate.
I'm on
I thought you had met her. All right, stand by. It's just the chair.
I know. It's just a chick.
The views and opinions expressed today on Black Focus Radio are not the views.
Are you going to be on air with us
of the
today?
station, its management, or its
okay.
advertisers. Now,
Is it okay?
Sure.
our issues, our solutions, our voices on Black Focus Radio. Welcome to Black Focus, the show designed with our community in mind, where we focus on our issues, developing our solutions using our voices. Surrounding areas and the nation. Get ready. Black Focus starts right now. Phone lines open at 855-525-5683. So here's your host, David W. Coleman and Robert Webb.
All right, what's happening? It's Friday. It's Black Focus Radio. Our issues, our solutions, our voices.
What up?
David Coleman in the house, along with a whole rick of folks.
Yeah.
I'm gonna warn you all right now.
We don't know how this is going to end.
I have no control over this show today. All right.
You do.
So, you all know I come and I prepare a great show every day. But if it goes off the rails, blame Cliff May and Robert Webb.
Oh no, I'm not taking no responsibility
Okay.
in this one
Not
at
David.
all.
I'm just
Point
saying,
blank
man,
period.
because I try to come in here and do a good show every day.
Point blank
But-
period. I'm not taking a.
But in the meantime, in between time, you can call us up at 855-525-5683 to get in touch with me if you want. Get in touch with us. You can also contact me via Facebook, via Twitter, via YouTube, all kinds of places, of course. And don't forget, we're streaming live on Twitter. And I can't forget about Instagram as well. So, wow. How you doing, Robert?
Man, y'all tripping today. I'm good, bro. I'm good.
I was gonna say, usually when someone asks how you doing, you're supposed to say.
Yeah, but we got your background singers. over here.
Okay.
Get your background singers.
And Miss Keisha Cobb is in with us today.
I am. Beautifully so.
Yeah.
Hi, Big D.
How you doing,
Big
Keisha?
D.
I'm good.
Oh, that's good. And she brought a guest with her today.
Shall I introduce my
Yes,
guest?
introduce your. I mean, she can get on. You can get on that mic, and she can get on that mic. Cause,
They should give her own mic.
You know.
What's up, D?
Thank
you, Dave.
and then we'll just sandwich Cliff in between both of you all.
Oh man,
It
that's what's up, dog.
Are we on air?
There you go. There you
That's
go.
what's
There
up,
you
dog.
go. Now introduce your guest.
Yes, my guest is the beautiful Zelda Robinson.
Hi.
Hi, Zelda.
She is a local socialite and is very involved in the community. We're both working on a very important campaign right now. So
Okay, is that campaign paying any for advertising on this show?
no, that's why we're working on a campaign.
Okay,
here.
I
How
just
you doing?
just want to make sure.
How
Not
are
that-
you, David?
I'm doing. Thank you for joining the
And
show.
Robert.
And we've got
And Robert.
Cliff May.
Hey, what's up?
You're not gonna speak to our guest?
I spoke to. Hey, ladies, how are y'all doing? It's a pleasure to have y'all here today.
Thanks you.
Thank you, Robert.
That's
We appreciate
You're
you
just so
being
sappy.
nice.
so sweet.
Cliff and Cliff May is in the house as well. So
Hi, how's it going?
and he's like being the video editor producer guy.
He's a videographer.
You know, so we've got a lot of stuff to talk about today. I've got some stuff on the agenda, and we're just gonna throw it out there, and we're just gonna let the ship sail. How about that? But before we do anything, girls and boys, what must we do first?
Praise my Jesus.
We need to take a break.
Black facts.
Thank you, Keisha.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Keisha. Because I mean, I'm looking for new co-hosts because y'all, I ain't playing with y'all. I mean, we do this every day.
We're gonna take over.
Now, you might come in this show and act a fool, but in my Black Facts,
She won't.
I don't play that.
That's right.
I don't play that.
I don't play that.
Homie don't play
Homie
that.
don't play that. I'm just saying.
Homie don't play that.
I'm just saying. You know, don't mess with my
Y'all
Black
in the ring,
Facts.
Y'all don't get in the ring.
That's
today,
what I'm
don't get in the
saying.
ring.
You know, hey, I'm just saying. So let's jump into some Black Facts.
It's about to go down.
Say it with your chest.
Dynamic Black Facts. Our culture, our history, our people.
So I always like to do Black Facts, and you all, we do these every day, and it's fascinating as much as I think I know, the more I know, the less I know, because I find out something interesting every day. So I was just doing a little reading the other day about a little history and science, and I ran upon this interesting little jewel. Okay, check this out, and this kind of speaks to what they think about us today. So Southerners actually thought slaves escaping was a sign of mental illness. Now wait a minute, okay? So they're saying that, hey, y'all don't want to get raped and sold and beaten and castrated and hung and lynched. Something wrong with y'all.
Y'all must be crazy.
Y'all must be crazy. Okay, Southern doctors use pseudoscience to explain why slaves tried to escape while ignoring the fact that maybe they just didn't want to be slaves. It's easy to forget that up until very recently, slavery was a normal and accepted way of life since the beginning of recorded history. Some humans have enslaved others and people accepted it as the way of the world. It is boggling to the modern Western mind to think of slavery as the natural order. But in the United States, before the Civil War ended, the institution of good people twisted logic into knots, trying to justify owning slaves. Can you say the Bible? Scores of pseudoscientific papers were produced to explain why some people were inferior to others. Yeah, those people that we stole from Africa, that when we got there, they had these big ass triangle-like things called pyramids. Yeah. Anyway, I'm sorry, I interjected my editorial. I'm closing it.
Okay.
I see you closing the door. Go ahead.
And while most of these theories were later debunked, racist ideas such as eugenics, posing as science, were accepted well into the 1930s. Okay? In fact, they were accepted well into the 2000s, if you all remember the book, The Bell Curve. I'm sorry, I interjected more editorial.
Yeah,
sorry about that.
You're editorializing. Go ahead.
German scientists' particular enthusiasm for this pseudoscience was the tragedy that inflicted in its name later put most of these phony theories to rest. It might seem absurdly obvious as to why someone bound by the shackles of slavery would make a break for it at the first chance they got. But black, when racist ideas were accepted as scientific fact, bewildered slave owners turned to psychology to try and understand why my slaves keep running away. In the master's view, slaves had been put on this earth to serve. In return, they were provided with food, clothes, and homes. Rape, sodomy. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm editorial again. I'm sorry. Woo-saw.
Yeah, dog.
Woo-saw.
Breathe, dog.
Okay.
Breathe, dog.
It was baffling to the slave owners that the human beings they regarded as property would be willing to give this all up for freedom. Why would they want that?
Say it ain't so.
Can't imagine.
Southern physician Samuel Cartwright believed that he found a rational explanation for this disturbing desire to escape servitude. He dubbed this disease the mind, drapetomania. Okay? With Greek roots roughly translating to runaway slave and crazy. and reassured slave owners that it was entirely curable by whipping the devil out of slaves who suffered from it. Cartwright was convinced drapetomania was a psychological disorder because the creator's will in regard to the Negro declares him to be a submissive knee bender. In other words, black people were put on this earth to be slaves, and servitude was ingrained in their nature. Oddly, Cartwright blamed indulgent masters for the onset of this disorder. For if the white man attempts to oppose the deity's will by treating his slaves even close to equals, this will disrupt the natural order and cause the fragile slaves to develop this mental illness. Cartwright does generously concede that excessive cruelty on the part of masters will also play a role in the cases of some runaway slaves. Of course, his article does not contain anything that comes close to scientific evidence. Cartwright offers nothing to back up his outrageous claims besides his own personal observations. The good doctor also notes that although the ignorant Northerners also witnessed the disease firsthand, they wrongly attribute the symptoms to the debasing influence of slavery on the mind. Although drapetomania was listed in some medical books as late as 1914, it derided in the North almost immediately after it was published. And ladies and gentlemen, that's our Black Facts for today.
That's what's up.
Now, you want to blow somebody's mind? Man, you got drapetomania. That's your problem. And if you'd like to sponsor Dynamic Black Facts, you can call me up at 615.
Mahomes.
He's definitely got drapetomania.
Patrick Mahomes.
Okay, I'm gonna tell him a new one tomorrow on my sports show.
Easy 2020.
Couple of them.
Man, you hear what Patrick Mahomes said?
I heard the show.
You heard the show yesterday, right?
Yeah, I heard the show yesterday.
Man, in fact, I've started harassing him on Twitter. I sent him a picture of Trayvon Martin.
Oh, wow.
Why would you do that,
That
Dave?
is.
Why wouldn't I do
We got
that?
enough people already know like our show, Dave. I mean, why you gonna go
They'll be
after
all
him
right.
too?
No, they really like
Damn,
us.
Dave.
They really like us.
Okay, let me just say
They'll
this.
get over it.
When a 16-year-old is murdered by a vigilante, and you, Patrick Mahomes, just because you got white blood in you, by the way, we all got white blood in us. All right?
too.
They all
And you're going to
In
say,
the name of Jesus, I rebuke that. No, nigga, you ain't. All right, go ahead. That's what Dave.
Passion.
I only have one of
That's what
Jesus.
Dave.
oh my God.
That's what Dave.
I wasn't ready for that one. Okay, you got me. I wasn't ready.
Okay. That's what Dave. I'm doing that for Dave.
Okay, we spoke. Okay, go
I was-
ahead.
I wasn't ready for that.
Go ahead.
I told you, I warned y'all about the show today.
Come on.
Okay,
All right.
but anyway, I hope the Titans tear him a new one
A new
on
what?
Sunday.
You know what?
Come on, you gonna say George Zimmerman was innocent?
Yeah, well, the thing is, man, I don't know how that guy gets that, right? I don't know where he's from. Where is he from to say something like that?
Well,
I mean, where did he say that at? Where was he? Was he saying that somewhere where maybe he didn't have a choice? Is his dad a police officer?
his dad is black, and he was a former Major League Baseball player.
His dad was.
His Patrick Mahomes.
Patrick Mahomes' dad?
Yeah,
I don't remember him.
yeah. I played for the Indians, as a matter of fact. That's ironic. The Indians.
Yeah.
But again,
It's obvious he didn't play for the brothers.
apparently not. But no, his dad was a former and a darn good player, as a matter of
Really?
fact. Yeah.
So where did he say this at, though?
He was in some type of forum.
What?
Was it
Patrick Mahomes basically said that George Zimmerman was innocent when he killed Trayvon Martin. And then he went on to say, and I'm paraphrasing.
Yeah, he was innocent when he killed him. You mean after the fact, right? So you mean after the trial?
No, as far as the trial is concerned, he was
Oh.
innocent. And then he went on to say that we ought to respect police because police are here to protect us.
Not all of them.
So I'm just saying.
Got Light Bright over there talking. Light Bright said, not all of them.
Excuse me?
Light Bright over there saying, not all of them, player.
But anyway,
All right, y'all.
There are actually a lot of people that feel that.
Feel what way? That the police are friendly?
No, that Zimmerman was a victim.
He was a victim.
That
essentially what you're saying.
Trayvon
Trying to get
and
me
a
upset.
lot of other I'm
trying to
very
get me
right
upset.
now. A lot of other young men that have been killed, they contributed to
They
their
were-
demise.
Yes.
If
Really?
they would have just acted right. You know, I am a part of a member of a lot of groups on Facebook of those people that think like that, and I just lurk and listen.
I'm raising my hand.
Yes,
Yes, yes.
please.
You can,
So let me ask you a question.
You can ask me anything.
Let
You
me
know
ask you.
that.
And Zelda can weigh in on
What
this.
you know? What
Yeah.
Robert? He's talking
If you walking
Right now.
down the street,
just right there.
yes.
you walking down the street one day,
Just walking.
and
I like when you sing. Just get it out.
somebody comes up and accosts you and attacks you, do you defend yourself?
Naturally,
I usually
Okay.
turn the other cheek.
Right. So that's what Trayvon Martin did.
you know that you talking
Okay.
about fight or flight.
Right.
It's in your blood, your DNA.
Right. Some
That's
people will
innate.
run, some people will fight.
Some will do the same thing at the same
Right.
time. Do
So
both.
Trayvon Martin was defending himself. And he wasn't defending himself. This was a vigilante cop. He had, in fact, he wasn't even a cop. He was a self-appointed neighborhood watch guy.
Yeah, yeah.
So he had no right whatsoever to accost Trayvon Martin. And that's the one thing that out of all of this, after all these years, no one pays attention to. Trayvon Martin was minding his own business, walking to his dad's apartment. He was not doing anything. George Zimmerman had no right to even confront him.
Exactly.
So when you say, if you want to make the argument that black kids ought to do what cops say,
Succumb.
okay, I won't accept that argument, but in this particular case, George Zimmerman was not a police officer.
And he didn't obey the
He was a
orders and
regular
regulations of the
citizen.
police.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He should be under the bottom of the jail.
Yeah.
Well, he's suing them
sorry.
now, right? He's suing their family,
He's
right?
trying.
Yeah, he's trying to sue their family for $100 million.
Wow.
George
You know.
Zimmerman?
Yes.
Yes.
He's
You didn't know
suing-
that?
Robert, where have you been?
But
at?
I still remember before I said I think this is good. Because they can countersue.
Counsel for what? What are they gonna
And-
get?
Just shoot. If it's nothing but emotional
His
distress.
negative charges in his bank account.
No, I'm
But,
saying
I mean,
the
he doesn't-
family
Exactly.
can counsel.
Zero.
Definition of character.
Well, he doesn't have any
Family
money,
counsel.
but you make an excellent point because see, when you enter into a suit,
Yes,
there's this thing called discovery.
exactly.
Okay, and George Zimmerman will have to answer questions under oath, and then you can then take that information and, as you say, countersue him. But
He gonna lie under oath.
well,
He
that's
lied
true
the whole
too.
time.
But that's when we miss the Black Panthers, and I'll just leave that alone.
Well, did you hear about the lawmakers in Georgia? that-
I'm gonna get to that.
Are we?
Just-
See, we
we're
all
gonna
the
get to
same.
that.
We always
We're
on the
gonna get
same
to that.
thing.
So don't hate.
Robert, you and
Robert-
Jesus talking a lot.
Yeah, what's
Yeah.
that? What's that about? Yeah. It's
I'm gonna give you some. I'm gonna give you some attention too. Don't worry about it.
it's really becoming.
And Zelda's here
Oh,
too,
you
and
think
she'll.
so?
You know, so you get like a double whammy today, Robert.
I wish we had
He's
a
blushing.
cam for the shoes he has on. They are
Oh, yeah.
so like amazing. Those boots.
Yeah. Robert,
Oh,
he's pretty
suck
clean.
it now.
Them ain't no Stacey Adams either.
Robert, them
Stand
boots
up.
gave me a tingle deep down in my
He gave
gut.
me a
Really?
tingle. He had a little spot on him, y'all, and I took it off. You
Oh.
saw that?
Yes.
I removed that spot.
I
We
see
Wow,
got a
she
picture.
didn't even rub
clean.
my boots.
And he
seen
said, "Thank you. You know I will rub your boot if you need me to."
Okay, all right. Because I got my stompers on today. I ain't
like
playing.
stumpers.
I ain't playing.
Yes.
Come mess with me today.
Robert-
You see what I'm saying? Y'all think I'm playing?
Are those
Hey.
steel toes?
Right.
No, they're not.
Those are like are those
Aren't you gonna talk? We're getting ready to talk about the
Oh,
thing.
you don't want to talk about the boots? I think
Talk
we
about
were
what
done with
thing?
the boots.
Yeah, we're done with the
They're
boots.
great.
Yeah, we're done. Okay, what we doing
It's
then?
chocolate. The boots
okay.
are chocolate.
those are nice. In fact, did you get those from Takovas? Because I was gonna order some black ones like that.
You got a order?
Those, yeah, I'm just saying.
Robert.
Man, I used to have some lizards back in the day.
Come
They
on,
were
Robert.
black. Ooh boy.
Really? That's
And
a bigger animal on
Robert.
this foot.
And I had a black Dodge, man. And when I be black on black, man, I get it.
Black Dodge.
I'd stick my foot out first, like, wham!
Let's say black on black on black.
That's what I'm saying.
He was clean. He was
Put on them black shades, man.
big
I'm just saying.
They said black on
Robert
black on
gave
black.
it to us today, y'all. Just saying.
Okay.
Yeah, he's coordinated.
So, you know, it is Martin Luther King week.
Yeah.
Are y'all going to any celebrations or commemorations?
Oh yeah, all weekend. I'm gonna be up in the place. Yeah.
What? I mean. What?
Okay,
So disrespectful.
which one are you going to, Robert?
He's been so disrespectful.
You going to the? Are you going to the parade?
Of course, yes, without a doubt. Actually, I'm trying to get into my raid.
What are you gonna do in there? What, those
Show them
boots?
boots
So
off.
those boots off? Yeah.
You know what? I
yeah.
am
have
so
dream
serious.
boots.
I will shine your boots for you if you need me to.
Wow.
These boots are meant for walking. So let me ask you,
Okay,
something.
yes.
Are you really going to the parade?
I'm trying to get in right now. Yeah.
I'm not going.
Why?
I'm not going.
How can you not be supportive of
Okay.
the Marade?
Let me.
The Marade is
Okay.
yeah.
Let me just be clear.
Okay.
And I've said this every year.
Well, Dave,
But when I
why don't
first
you-
moved
why
back,
don't you join the NAACP?
okay, can I? Before you offer suggestions, can I just finish?
Please finish. Please
Okay.
finish.
When I first moved back to this city, as I told, Dr. Semanga yesterday,
Right.
I had the honor to be in Atlanta because Atlanta was commemorating Dr. King's birthday long before everybody else was doing it. So I had the pleasure of being in Atlanta the year before and the year that they actually finally passed the legislation. Boy, I didn't know Holly Robinson Pete was that fine. Woo! I'm sorry. Flashback.
Yeah,
Woo!
flashback, yeah.
Sorry.
Her booty was flat.
No, back then Holly Robinson Pete was the stuff.
She was good, but okay.
But anyway, so when I've been in, I lived in Memphis, Nashville, Dallas, a lot of other different cities, and had the opportunity to see their commemorations. So when I first moved back to Little Rock, I'm thinking, man, I can't wait to go to the parade. The city of the. I never got that either.
I don't either.
But anyway, I was thinking, man, the city of the Little Rock 9, man, it's gonna be bad. Man, I get out there. That was the year that what's his name? What's the boxer name? Started shooting.
Jermaine Taylor.
Yeah. And then of course, they had like 479 cars, and the cars were like playing dirty rap music.
Wow.
Love rap music.
And all this. It was just horrible. I was disappointed. I'm saying this is what you all are using for Dr. King to commemorate Dr. King. So
Dr. King was twerking. They had a little thing of Dr. Queen.
I mean, it
twerking.
ain't, you ain't got UGK in
Bobblehead,
there.
that bobblehead.
so me,
Get your twerk on, Doc.
I'm thinking because I was so offended by it. In fact, I even wrote the NAACP a letter.
Yeah, that got you fired.
Okay, so I said, and I volunteered. No, it sure didn't. That's the point. So I even volunteered. I said, look, if you all need someone to coordinate the parade, I'll volunteer to do it.
Yeah.
Why they need you?
Apparently they didn't. They never called.
Nope.
So
dare
the
they?
point being is that I fear if I go to this, what they call it?
Marade.
This time, I'm going to be 38 hot when I get in there on Monday.
Let's go together. We'll buy some rotten tomatoes and we'll throw them at all the cars as they pass.
Wow.
And then you may get shot.
No. I'm telling you, because that's the kind of folks that was in that
Now,
parade.
year
That's
that
all
you're
right. We'll
talking
find some
about,
brothers. We'll
someone
get some
did
brothers
get
from the
shot.
hood.
A young lady got shot and some people went
Well,
to
I
jail.
know Jermaine Taylor was down there shooting as
Not
well.
Jermaine. Say it ain't so.
Jermaine, mental
I met him once.
illness.
Oh my God.
Well,
really?
now
So-
he has mental health issues. So,
I mean, again,
No.
because he's been hitting the head so often.
I'm pretty sure he does, but that doesn't take away from the fact that he was shooting at a public
He
event.
wasn't the only one shooting. It was some more people
I think
shooting.
there's other
well,
people
Some
joining.
young guys.
Well, the reason I'm familiar with him because I was close to where the gun went off. Okay?
Down, look at you.
I'm just saying.
What is Weezy gonna do,
But
y'all?
anyway, I'm just saying, and it brings up an interesting article by Dr. Earl Fisher from the Tri-State Defender. The Tri-State Defender is the black newspaper in Memphis. We don't have one here, by the way.
We got one here. We got 3 here. But they're not daily papers.
What are they, Robert?
There's a stand. It's one.
Oh, Stan.
No, that was Tracy's.
That's
that was
Tracy's
but
thing.
it's not there. I don't think Tracy's are. I don't think Tracy's active anymore.
Wasn't it called something else?
All right, what are they? I mean, we're waiting.
Oh, Lord,
Arkansas
don't-
Speaks is one
don't
with
say
Pat
nothing about
Ward.
Oh, okay.
Cause I'm gonna go off.
Why not the Sun? The Sun is one.
The sun. You talking? What sun?
Julius
The
Larry.
eclipse. The one that's got the eclipse on it.
No, the Sun. The Sun newspaper.
That's the one that's got the eclipse on it.
Oh,
It's a mess.
wow.
Why is it a mess? It's a decent newspaper.
I used
Okay.
to work there, so I know.
Oh.
I'm just saying.
Okay.
I guess you
I
just
laid
told
out the
you.
entire newspaper before, and the operations
Really?
just could be bad. That's the parade of newspapers.
And Robert,
What's the other one, Robert?
Yeah, what's the other one?
Tell us,
What did I
please.
say? Arkansas Speaks, the Sun, and I can't think of the third one.
Okay.
It's one more. It's one more.
Okay.
That's what we
Okay.
thought.
It
So-
is. It's a
so
lady
as I
It's
said
one more. Pat
earlier,
Ward does Arkansas
We don't
Speaks.
have a black paper.
Arkansas
as I said
Talks.
earlier,
Arkansas Talks.
we don't have a black newspaper in
But that's Arkansas
Little Rock.
Talks.
We don't have it.
I know. Well, we don't have a black newspaper in relations to having a black periodical that goes out daily. No, we don't have
A
that.
periodical does not go out daily.
Well,
A
I didn't mean
newspaper
to
goes
say
out
that.
daily.
My point, I meant to say,
Bi-weekly.
smart.
Bi-weekly.
No. Hey man, I can't do this with y'all today, man.
This is.
Robert, I got the bag. You know I got the bag, though. I mean,
Okay, that's so sweet. That's so sweet.
Go ahead,
So
Robert.
give me one location where you can find a black periodical in Little Rock.
No,
That's
no,
exactly-
hold on. So we technically don't have a black newspaper that goes out daily. I think Arkansas Talks, Pat Ward, she hadn't put out she usually only went once a month anyway.
once a month.
And then Sun is once a month. I think
clips.
So why would I?
Dude, every 2 weeks.
every 2 weeks.
Okay.
So they don't have like online.
Uh-huh.
It's only It's only the year 2020.
Oh, so they don't have an online
But
paper.
there is a young guy who started something called Arkansas.
I forgot about Scott Green. That's Scott Green. Yeah, Scott Green has
Young
something. I
guy?
can't think of the name of it. Yeah, I can't
Yeah,
think of what
but it
Scott
isn't a
Green's thing
newspaper. I
is.
think it's like an online show or something
Yeah, but
about
it,
happenings in Arkansas.
But it's I can't think of the name of his. But he's trying to do the same thing. But the thing is, Joe, we have a lot of people trying to do it. Unfortunately, maybe it's just not catching on because you got to remember.
Well, you know
hold
what
on,
the
you gotta-
problem
you got to
is?
remember.
Yeah, maybe they need to come
It's
together.
not like it was back in the 40s.
You know what the
50s.
problem is.
You gonna let me finish?
That we don't.
Go ahead, finish.
It's not like it was back in the 40s and 50s when we all had to drink out of the same water fountain. We all had to go to the same place. Now certain black folks can go to the country club. They no longer want to be with other black folk, so they separate
wow.
themselves. So it's
Wow.
unnecessary.
Okay,
So
so
it's not necessary to have a black paper like it
We were
was.
taught that
it's
in
it is so if you say it's not necessary to have a black paper,
It's
then
not
it's-
necessary for some to have a. to
so
have
it's
a
not
black
necessary to have a black radio station.
paper. Okay.
See the fallacy
Are
of
you
that?
are you ready to go?
Are you fit? You can go.
Are you ready
Okay.
to
Now let me just say this about this.
go? Okay.
I'm not upset about anyone and their attempts to
To
journalism.
journalism. All right.
I've been in the journalism business for 35 years.
Okay.
Okay? And it is offensive to me when I see some of the work that people are doing as it relates to black news in this city. No offense to them. I appreciate their efforts. But what I would say is the importance, just like when we started this show almost 5 years ago, it was important for us to put together a show that dealt with black issues on a daily basis. If you're going to do a newspaper, then you have to do it on a regular basis. Otherwise, you're doing nothing but tinkling in the wind.
Exactly.
I'm just going to be real.
What
So those
exactly is tinkling in the wind?
you got Google over there? Okay, Google that. Okay.
And you got his back. Okay.
So
Google it.
what I'm saying is this, is that all these people that are attempting, and see, I know a few of these people who are attempting to do newspapers.
Okay.
It's about fiefdoms. It's not about news. And if just like I've said, I don't care who you are, you want to come on this show, come on. Just bring your facts. I don't care if you're Republican, Democrat, Independent. It don't matter to me. Okay, but it ain't about a fiefdom on this show.
Right.
It's about getting information out to our people. And if we want a credible news source,
Why y'all being so serious today?
then all of these people, because you tick me off,
Can't
okay?
be all serious today,
Okay.
man. It's Friday.
Okay,
Look at
you
me.
tick me off with your new little fancy boots on,
Big D, look at me.
fancy boots.
Look at me. It's
Hey,
okay.
hey, fancy.
Robert.
Robert.
Y'all, those boots did something to me. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
All right, but no, what I'm saying is that
he has a beard.
all of us ought to come together. Just like at some point we need to come together and put together a black business
Paper.
chamber of commerce. We need
yeah.
that. It is
Yeah,
important, you know.
There is a-
But the problem
there
is
is a black business. I'm gonna look at that.
okay. The problem in Little Rock is that too many people, and so I look at myself as an outsider because I was gone for so long.
How you gonna be an outsider and this where you was born and raised? Come on, dude, don't do that.
But
Don't
you
try
see,
that.
how long
Don't
you-
try that. Don't try that. Don't try that.
I was gone for 35 years.
I know, kid.
Wow.
Get in the ring.
Okay.
Any
So-
boxing has to be done in the ring. Okay.
So
No.
I'm just simply saying, I have an outsider point of view. One of the things I tell people,
But that's a good thing. That's not a
I
bad thing.
agree.
Right.
One of the things I tell people is that when you grow, as you grow, go to other places,
Yes.
learn what other people are
to
doing.
live
To
there.
live,
Yes.
exactly. Because then when you come back, you have a different perspective.
Yes.
I have a different perspective on what I think Little Rock should be and what it should be doing based on the cities that I've lived in, based on the information that I've gotten and matriculated with other black scholars and things of that nature. Little Rock is light years away from
If
that.
Yes.
you can read, if you can see, if you can taste, you just got to be a damn fool not to
If
see
you
that Little
was
Rock ain't
kind,
right.
If you
You
was
just gotta be.
smart,
Ain't nothing else
if
to
you
it.
was
Right.
important.
Ain't
But if you say that,
There's nothing else to it.
So-
You ain't got to go nowhere to see
Yes,
that ain't
you do.
nothing right here.
Let me tell
yeah,
This
but
ain't
you
right.
you do have to go get a different perspective.
Okay,
It helps.
And to
It
chime
helps.
in from what he said, I moved to Dallas when I was 26, so I was young. It took me going there to see the
What are
difference
you?
in
You
something.
28 now?
Yeah, she's just turned 28.
Jesus.
Better not nobody mess with him, okay?
That's right.
That's my day.
Yeah.
Now, it took me
Sweet
living
father.
there and experiencing something different to see the things that I was just blindly used to.
Mm-hmm.
How you're treated by people of other races, and you're used to it. You've been seeing since you was little, so you don't really pay it any mind. How hard it is to open a business. You know how if I would have gone before city council in Dallas and presented something, would have been up and running now. Here, it depends on who you are. If you're part of a clique, if you're smarter than the people you're presenting to, they're gonna shut you out, take your idea or whatever. So I learned a lot, but I came back to invest that here. So I can see things different now. But if you have not lived somewhere else, it's hard for you to see things different. You think it's okay, and it isn't. It just isn't. It's hard. So when I talk about, I was in Dallas, the first thing people think, she thinks she better because she was in Dallas. Not, well, she had a different perspective. Let's get together and do what worked there. Here, they don't think that. So,
Yeah, Robert.
no, that Robert is being so good today, David. Do you want me to come hug you?
Maybe later.
What's so funny, Robert?
You jealous.
Because your boots might be a little tight.
Them boots were meant for walking.
We're gonna get Zelda to hug Robert if he needs one. So
We're
let's
not
just
picking
monitor
on you,
him.
Robert. Don't feel because you're sitting over there.
Yes, you would.
We're not
Poor
picking on you.
Robert.
Okay.
Robert.
Y'all so
But the reason I brought up the King thing was because, and if you get an opportunity, that I posted this article on my wall, on Black Focus wall. Day of service, a superficial sham of a way to celebrate Dr. Martin Luther King. Now, the reason I'm bringing this up,
Okay.
what did we talk about yesterday?
yeah.
Ain't that a trip?
Yeah.
Are you talking about the day of
Whitewash,
service
the
in
whitewash.
It's been it's been whitewashed.
Whitewash, yeah.
It's been, in fact, Dr. King's message has been whitewashed.
My God.
Okay, it's been whitewashed.
Take
And
these ass whoopings.
you know, that's what I'm saying. It's amazing to me how we could look, because I'm trying to figure out You know, and I've studied a lot of history. I don't remember Dr. King building no houses.
No. But I think the thing they're trying to do.
I don't remember Dr. King cleaning up no street.
I think that. But again, you got to remember though, it's just a day of service, right? That ain't what Dr. King wasn't about.
He wasn't about no service. He was about his people.
But they make it be what they want.
So they bastardized his message,
Yeah.
his memory.
They making it what they want it to be.
And here it is to contrast the parade whenever you get through.
And I really wish when Doc was here, that would ask him about the protected class. I really wanted to have connect.
Yeah, it was so much that
was so
and
much
we're gonna get
more.
Dr. By the way, if you didn't hear Dr. Michael Samanga, he's gonna be
That was a good show.
today. He'll be over at Philander Smith College at 1 today. But if you didn't hear the show, download the Joynet Radio.
Yeah.
Download the podcast, and you could hear him because he was on point yesterday. You know, and we're going to get him back on the show. We're going to get him as a regular visitor because we need that voice. So
He was knocking it down.
So Dr. Samang, because he was dropping some knowledge yesterday. So that's what we need. But it seems to me that Little Rock is recalcitrant to that knowledge.
Yeah.
You know, it seems like we good, we okay, and you're getting ran over by public officials. You know. You brought up the thing about Georgia and the six black women, the black legislators. And you know, when I saw that article yesterday, last night, I got angry at these guys running for 34 and 36. I'm going to be honest with you. Because they sat here and we talked about police brutality. What could you do? Things of that nature. And we got runaround answers. Well, here are 6 black legislators in Georgia who have introduced a bill that will hold police accountable for their misgivings in the public. Now, why the hell would you say, well, I got to study the issue?
Oh my goodness.
Who said that?
I'm just saying.
Who said that?
You see what I'm saying? There are some, that's why I say some of these.
Tell them who said it, Dave.
Well, George Springer said that, but Ryan Davis was no better. None of them were any better. That's what I'm saying. There are issues that, in fact, which one of them said, well, I think that's an issue that the mayor needs to address? Was that Ryan or was that
I
George?
think that was Ryan.
You see,
Ryan
wait a
was
minute.
saying that kind of
So wait a minute. You are a state legislator. You are responsible for your district. Okay? Part of the reason, if you know any history about Arkansas politics, do you know why, who was the guy that got caught in was it Fulbright? Who got caught in the fountain in Washington with Fannie
Fulbright,
Flagg?
yeah.
Okay? You know why he kept getting reelected?
Because he brought that money
He
home.
brought money home. Okay? Your job as a state legislator is to do the same thing for your community. And you're telling me an issue as powerful as police brutality, and you don't have anything you can do or any suggestion?
She doesn't have any. George said she didn't have any.
I'm just saying, I'm not trying to cast aspersions on anyone, but we as people should be demanding more from our state legislators.
We should.
You see what I'm saying?
Not just them, all of them.
All of them. You see what I'm saying? But here are 6 sisters because and the reason that this is being brought up is because there's some crime show that highlighted the continual abuse of Georgia police officers on black people, and these sisters said, "Hey, wait a minute, we've had enough of this.
Exactly.
We're gonna launch some legislation." Every black caucus across this country ought to be pushing that legislation.
Did you get the one from St. Louis that I sent you?
Yes. That we talked about
Where they
Karen
called
Gardner.
formerly anti-Klan actor.
Right. Karen Gardner, and we talked about the Ku Klux Klan of 1871.
Right.
This sister, who is a circuit attorney, is using that law to go after the St. Louis Police Department and the FOP. These are things, those are people that I want to vote for.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Those are people who understand the
But hold
law.
on.
I don't want no more
But like we
excuses.
talked about yesterday, Maynard Jackson did all that good in Atlanta, right, for black folks. But when it came time for him to get a job, he had to go to Chicago. because he couldn't get a job in Atlanta. So I say to us all that if we're gonna ride somebody's back, we need to be there so they can ride ours.
I agree.
All the way to the
I
end.
agree.
All the way to the
Because, because it is possible now
Because
that
what
the
she's
powers that
doing,
be here will punish these people once they're out of office or if they need to do any more business. So
oh
that's
yeah,
one of the
that's
things that
without a
they're not
doubt.
This place.
But we have to
Yeah.
create avenues where they can come and still
saying. We
live.
support
I agree.
them.
Yeah.
And that means
And we haven't done
that's
that.
economic development.
Okay.
The Use of Force Act, House Bill 636, was filed by State Representatives Renita Shannon, you know she black, Sandra Scott, Erica Thomas, Pam Stevenson, Park Kanan, and B. Nguyen. She's Vietnamese. Okay, so here are
Stacey
six.
Abrams wasn't in there.
She's not a legislator.
Yes, she is.
She's not in the legislature anymore.
She did.
I don't think so. No.
I think she's still there.
Check that. I don't believe she is. But the point is that these 6 black women have decided to step up. And the reason being is on BET's Cop Watch America, they saw multiple cases of black men being abused by police. See, we have to beat them at their own game. All right. So that's why I tell people on my book list, that's the first item on my book list is what? The Constitution of the United States. And I clearly state, and people would ask me, man, why do you have the Constitution on a black book list? Well, you have to understand the laws by which you are governed. If you don't understand those laws, then yeah, they're going to run roughshod over you. That's just like when Lee Miller was in here that day and he was talking about, oh, well, you need to just obey the cops. And I said, no, you don't.
No, you don't have to.
No, you don't.
What if they're giving you the wrong command?
Well,
The wrong
and he come, well, I'm an attorney. I know, but no, I don't care who you are. You're
Okay.
wrong.
Did you see the guy who, I don't know what state it was, but the cops held him down on the pavement and burned his body?
Yes.
Burned his body?
There's another story.
He obeyed them. He was like, I'm laying down, you're on me, but
And you
please
still
don't burn
tased
it.
him.
Yep.
Oh, so Bay, yeah, the sister Bay is the one that
Took her
replaced
seat,
Yeah,
yeah.
I didn't know
Yeah,
that. Okay,
yeah.
I'm glad you told me that.
But
So,
look, Arkansas, every state has a constitution as well. And people need to know it because
I
there's
agree.
something laced in the Arkansas Constitution that's very, very,
surprising.
yes, sir.
Surprising.
And Channel 4 just
And know how your cities were formed. Because there are areas of North Little Rock that said that black people could not own businesses
Hello.
up and down the JFK
Close
corridor.
them down.
There's still only one black business owner there.
Hello. So when you say go shop in North Little Rock, Robert,
How you doing?
it ain't nothing going on over there
this-
either.
this is the-
This
Shop in North
Pulaski
Little Rock.
County is a,
It's a county. How y'all doing? Hi to everybody.
and until y'all get it together in this city,
So y'all.
it's gonna continue.
Yep.
Don't get mad at me. I'm
Well,
just
you know
saying.
what? I think it's really sad that we even have to introduce a bill that holds cops accountable.
But think about it.
That's
Think about the
terrible.
history of this country.
But
We
you
had
gotta
to- we
understand
had
why
to-
they created cops in the first
right,
place.
and you had
Yeah.
to introduce a bill in order to get civil rights.
Right.
You had to introduce a bill to get voting rights.
Everything.
In this country,
It's just the way it works.
in this country, black people are considered second-class citizens, and the only way that you can beat them, I mean, and I talked about Tom Mesker, the former KKK head. As I've said, as Kim Gardner is using the Civil Rights Act, the KKK Act of 1871, there's another sister who is suing a bank. She's using an act of 1875. To sue this bank for discrimination.
Yeah.
Because she walks up in there and they started racially profiling her.
Yeah.
So in fact, 153-year-old civil rights law to sue PNC Bank for racial profiling. See, there are laws on the books that we could have been using long ago that we simply don't use. What's the law about banks where they have to commit so much to
Community.
community
Reinvestment
banking?
Act.
What is it?
Community reinvestment.
Why aren't people suing them about that? Because they certainly not committing anything in the communities.
No.
Well-
This is what they claim to do. They do more education now instead of action and investment. And they get grants for that.
What?
Right.
Oh, really?
Well, so you gotta look. So they grade you on several different things. Remember we went back
Yeah.
to Gallo's report.
Yeah.
So they grade you on Three different things. They grade you on deposits. They grade you on checking accounts, savings accounts, CDs.
A bank.
A bank, yeah.
Okay.
And then,
That means how many
Robert is
how many
minorities?
went in.
So
And
so
then-
let me
because we got the thing.
yeah, we went in. We did the
did
research on it.
on it.
So here's the fascinating thing about that, Robert, what you
Okay.
just said.
Fascinating.
What would happen if black people moved all of their money out of their banks?
Wow.
They were bankrupted.
No, but even more.
I don't think they bankrupted, but they would see
no, I'm talking about as it
significant-
relates to the Community Investment Act. Because if they're using the deposits of black people as
Yeah.
one of the
Well, so you got to do more than that, though.
I understand,
Like,
I understand.
So you got to have so many. You got to open so many accounts a year to even touch that threshold,
right.
right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, just if the number's 20, right? You got to have 20 accounts. You got to open up 20 accounts a year. So that means you got to constantly keep opening up accounts. And then when it comes to making loans, I want to say it was like they got to make I want to say 10% of their bank's net, whatever
Right.
it is. So
And
like
that- and it
might
doesn't-
be $10 million.
And it doesn't
or
apply
$12 million.
city per city. What we found out.
No, it doesn't.
It's so if
So
I
bigger banks, they just got a blanket. They just got a
right.
blanket.
So if I'm a large bank and I've got branches in 30 different cities, that Community Investment Act covers all 30 of those cities. So
well, it covers all 30, but you're still graded per
city.
Per city.
Right. But you get that umbrella, so to speak.
Right. Because
All
when
right.
you look at Iberia really sucks in Louisiana.
Exactly.
Well,
Exactly.
And they teeter in Little Rock, but they really suck in Louisiana.
So there is again a loophole that was written by your white politician.
Always.
I'm just saying.
That
Anyway.
was written by who?
My brother.
But it's true. He's telling the truth.
Okay.
I'd like to
Yeah.
see that.
Yeah, they have
information,
many
you
loopholes.
guys.
Okay, then.
Tax
Do you
loopholes
still
and
have?
everything.
Did you download that?
I emailed it to you, didn't
I'll check because I think you did email it to me. I'll forward it to you.
I? Okay.
And
Because-
I like us because I've done this before. Walk into a bank and set up a meeting, even with the president, as a nonprofit, and see what they tell you in regards to those reinvestment funds.
What did they tell you?
They're gonna walk you right back out.
Exactly.
Or they'll stall, and they'll say, "Oh, well, we work with, we have classes. That's it. They are not going to partner, and they're supposed to. That's what's in the act. They're not going to partner with the local nonprofits. No, just think, one bank here that's partnering with a local nonprofit. They're doing their own thing.
Yeah, they do.
Bank of the Ozarks was partnered with BCD.
Who is?
Bank of the Ozarks at one point they partnered with BCD.
What's
It's
up?
Arkansas Bank. Right?
Bank of the Ozarks.
Black Community Development
Yeah.
Organization. Are they still?
But isn't
Yeah,
that
better
a
community.
but isn't that a a city organization?
What?
Uh,
No,
BCD.
it's a private nonprofit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a private nonprofit.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
Okay. So,
But why I gotta be a nonprofit? I'm about profit.
Yeah.
I'm about profit.
yeah.
Nonprofits can profit some of the.
yeah, you can make money off.
It's who you
Your
know.
your salaries and all that stuff.
yeah.
You can profit. But what I'm saying is, it's stated that they are supposed to be partnering with community organizations, nonprofits, and stuff like that. Community development organizations, yeah, that's so. Glad you brought that up. David is smart too.
Gee, thanks.
Good, David.
Okay. By the way,
Back up today.
since we're talking about black people, as we do every day on the show, here when you run out and you meet your black friends and they're Trump supporters,
Wow.
just let them know that they are minorities, because black Americans deeply pessimistic about the country under Trump, whom more than 8 out of 10 describe Trump as a racist. All right. Now the reason I'm bringing this up is because there are a lot of black folks who don't think Donald Trump is a racist, but at least 80% of the people on this poll believe that he is. All right. And as a matter of fact,
Why can Donald Trump be a racist? He's never said anything racist.
See,
Name me one thing racist.
don't
he
bait
said.
me. Don't bait me.
What has he said that was racist, Dave?
I don't like black people counting my money. I prefer Jews. Should I go on?
Well,
No, don't
everybody
go
makes
for
the
it.
point that black people don't count
He
very
likes
well,
black people,
and the
though.
Jews count well, and they're bankers, right? So that's not racist. That's just
That's racist.
economic.
Trump does like black people,
It's
though.
racist.
I mean, he has an African American.
No, but that statement was racist. Now, whether or not he's racist, I haven't evaluated him. I would love to.
Yeah, Dave, come on.
Does he have mental issues?
What else you got, Dave?
Hey,
What
does
else
he
you
have
got,
mental
Dave?
No, David,
issues?
it's okay.
I'm not gonna go there with y'all
Does
today.
Does he have
I'm just
mental
not.
issues?
Don't let it happen.
Dave?
I'm not.
Listen
Robert,
to the
does he have
sound
mental
of my
issues?
You know,
I
let
think he
me
does have mental issues.
let me find my little
Because
quote. I always
listen
have
to
to
the
use my
sound of my voice. Don't
I
let
mean,
it
there are
happen.
blacks for Trump.
Okay?
David,
Robert, don't do it.
See,
David,
Don't do it.
David,
Robert.
David, hey,
Turn it. You
David,
know he can turn your mic off, right?
David.
You're really.
This is
shaming yourself
interesting.
right
This is so interesting to me. I'm
Dynamic
really
taking it
Are
all
you,
in.
Why
are
is
you
so
having
interesting?
fun, Zelda?
Yeah, I'm learning a lot
So what do you
today.
think about the show so far?
Wow, that's all I can say is wow.
You like it?
I like it. I really like it.
She ain't ready.
Where's Brazil when you
I'm
need it?
ready.
Oh, he
She
said
ain't
you
ready.
ain't ready.
Oh, okay. I like for people to underestimate me.
Zelda, stay.
Dang, I like to be underestimated. Bring
Yeah.
what you got.
That's right.
All
That's
right,
right.
that player.
Power punches when you underestimate
Big
somebody.
bucks, no
Oh, okay,
Yes.
bad.
Hey.
Yeah, gee.
Just let me watch. Dang.
Wow.
What's up? Yeah, well, let me watch too.
Just let me watch.
What's up?
We can
What's
watch
up?
together, okay?
What's up?
Keep watching. Don't sleep on me.
Oh, it's about to go down up in this
You
piece.
got the camera. Go get the camera.
Yes, yes, yes.
Hey, don't you go get that video. I got my own camera. How about
Just
that?
don't sleep on me because I'm
Well,
tiptoeing. Finish line.
well,
I like it. This is my kind of stuff right here,
well,
y'all.
well, well.
I'm tiptoeing.
Can you say
I can.
Lord,
Woo! What kind of show is this again, David?
I'm sorry.
It's getting hot in
I
here.
apologize at the beginning of the
said
show,
you
didn't I?
know.
He didn't know where it was going.
I apologized at the beginning of
Can
the
y'all see
show.
me fanning over there?
Okay,
Well,
I'm just
Like
saying.
Mr. Favor.
You know, I apologized at the beginning of the show.
If
Don't
you
do me,
didn't know,
cuz.
now
Okay.
you do.
now you know?
Okay.
Hello.
So
I'm
I'm
just
just.
about to go.
It sure is. You got a Virgo here and a Pisces there. What's your sign? Robert.
You're a Pisces,
Oh,
Robert.
that's why he's so
Right.
sweet.
He's a good guy. He's a
What's
good
up?
dude.
Don't get along, y'all.
Yes, they do. They're
No,
good
you
dude.
don't.
I do.
Y'all
Pisces in the house. Y'all ain't ready for this.
I
It's
love
about to go
Pisces,
down.
though.
Some of
son
my
is a
best
Pisces.
people are Pisces,
Yeah.
right?
That's what's up.
Here's my quote. I
All
was
right,
looking
man.
for.
I like
Roll it
the
out,
color.
player.
All
Here's
right.
my quote. Okay.
Okay.
The forest was shrinking, but the trees kept voting for the axe. For the axe was clever and convinced the trees that because his handle was wood, he was one of them.
Oh, that's a good one, dog.
Wow, that's
That's a
good.
good
I
one,
like
dog.
that.
I like that one. I like that
Cool.
one. That you know what? You really touched me right here.
He's
With that.
kind of like Donald Trump with that.
You really touched me right here with that.
That's a good. And look, the image. Do you have the image for that one?
No.
There's an image to that is.
Oh, and by the way, just a quick
You see
note.
the image?
I went to, of course, I went to George Elliott's. I was a host with George Elliott's fundraiser last night.
Oh, wow.
Wait a minute. Oh, yeah, that's right. I want to talk about that.
It's so good.
Let's,
And
let's
after that, I went to
Linda Chesterfield's thing.
Yeah, Linda pumped it up.
Okay,
Oh.
so let's talk about that. We got about 5 minutes to go in this hour, so I that was one thing I wanted to make sure I talked about today.
Well, yeah, I sent you the text. Did you stream it? You didn't
Why?
stream it? Huh?
Why would I stream it?
Damn,
Because
all
it's
day.
right.
Wow.
Which,
It wasn't me.
which one of the which thing would you
Which one?
talking about streaming?
Linda.
The
Linda.
education piece.
Oh no, I wasn't gonna stream.
Hey,
You wanna
I wasn't gonna waste my time.
Because you knew already, yeah.
I wasn't gonna waste my
And you
time.
know what? I was.
That ship is
no,
sailed
I'm gonna tell you something
and
that's
sank,
interesting,
and
though.
then they done went down and excavated and pulled the treasure out of it.
No, it's so let me tell you something. So this is what was really interesting to me yesterday, right? So, you know, all this time you got folks walking around telling me we want our damn district back. And Linda she said something very profound to me that nobody else has said. Y'all ready for this? She said, I've talked to the governor. I've been talking to the governor, right? And then she said, we got to get these test scores up. You get that, right?
Okay.
You get that, right?
Yeah.
Now expound on that for people who don't get it.
Because if you don't, I
Because
will.
the thing is, is everybody been walking around talking all this craziness, and the man saying get the test scores up. Get the test scores up, you can have
We'll
district
give it
back.
back.
It
Yeah.
shouldn't be that simple.
But see, this is the
because
thing.
Test scores went down
Hold
for a
on.
reason.
No, let's go back though.
Okay.
So, you wasted 4 years. Well, 5. What is it? 5 years now.
5 years.
You wasted 5 years till I get my damn district back, when you could have put a plan in place to help the kids
Get better.
test
Test
better.
better. Yeah.
Or tried to figure. You could have spent a year trying to figure out how to get a plan together to help the kids test better, so that you could get them back, right? Because Dr. Chesney Smith.
Or you could have
Charity-
sued
Charity.
them.
Well, no,
You could have sued them like the
No.
like the Houston
No.
school district
No.
has
I mean,
done
I wanna-
to
Not
Texas.
No, I think it's important to make this point
Exactly.
though. No, this is important to make this
Okay,
point.
make it.
Okay, right.
So, Charity Smith was saying last night that she's working with these kids, and she said, taking tests is a skill set. Not everybody can take a test, right? You could be the smartest person in the world and still fail a test because everybody does not know how to take a test.
Is that something new?
No, I guess it is to me because I didn't even know that. I don't
Really?
care. Yeah, I didn't know. But hold on. And so she brought these kids who she had been working with. So.
I told you we didn't want to get into this until the next
Okay.
hour, so we're about to run out of
All
time.
right.
That's why I was.
Because
Go
that's
ahead,
a long,
homie. Go, homie. Go.
that's a long story right
let's
there.
take the top of the hour break, and when we come back, we'll get back to what Charity Smith says. But test taking skills has been taught for decades,
I know people who
Decades.
struggle with tests.
and
So was math, science.
exactly.
Yes.
They read fine, but
That's a consulting thing for
Let
Terry.
me
Yeah,
come
we'll,
into school.
we'll come back here in just a moment because y'all about to get my pressure up.
Bring what you got for a poke shot.
And I got good blood
Don't
pressure.
come back with gasoline draws on, because I'm a lighter. I'm a lighter.
Okay.
Right.
Well,
Oh,
I go,
What you want?
I go commando.
What you
but-
want?
Come on now.
say that,
Hey, we-
Y'all know
hey.
what's about to happen.
We gotta take the top of the hour break. It's Black Focus Radio. I am not responsible for this show
You
today.
are.
Come on, girl.
Okay.
Do that thing.
Sorry.
Do that there.
These
Do that
people are
there.
acting really weird today. I'm trying to be serious,
Do that
but
there. Do that there.
I might as well run through hell with gasoline draws on. Back
Might
in a
as
moment.
well.
we're gonna get you, Dave. We're gonna get you some CBD cigarettes.
Charity.
is so
That's a
nasty.
consulting fee for charity, right?
Yeah, she making that money.
She's just making money off of them. They're not helping the kids. Now I'm real passionate on that. I know all about it.
Really?
John's deceased now, but Joshua Interveners, I was around then. It's all about money. Honey. Nothing about the kids. Nothing.
Well, I went to college back in '79, and one of the prerequisite courses that every freshman had to take was college preparatory test taking. Okay? And what that course was all about was teaching you how to take a test. Okay? So are you saying you are just now, and what, I graduated in
Figured it out.
'79. Are you saying you all are just now figuring out you got to teach people how to take tests?
Nope.
We've been arguing about standardized testing for decades
years, yeah.
and how bad they are. Okay? And look, there was a study that said that a chimpanzee could take a 100-point test, multiple choice, and he would get 25%. In other words, he would get 25 questions right. A chimpanzee.
Yeah.
Okay? So I knew people in school that weren't getting 10 questions right. And a chimpanzee only marks randomly. You understand what I'm saying? So, and then too, multiple choice tests are the easiest damn test to take. Because typically you can totally eliminate 2 answers immediately. And then all you got to do basically is guess. You should be able to get 50. One of them, that's 50%.
Well,
That's what they taught us.
Study about the children, okay, like elementary school children who are totally stressed out. Like they evaluated them and said that they're stressed out. They're stressed from homework.
Yep.
Testing. This was local, I think. I remember being stressed out. Oh my God, when they started all that testing in junior high and in Texas, unless they change it because they did get sued. You can have straight
Come on
A's.
from it.
You take that test and have anything to do with the whole year, you fail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They flunk you because they did that.
And because a lot of and then the other thing is,
Policeman calling me right now.
oh, A lot
all
of
there.
a lot of things is that they teach to the test. I'm gonna be honest with you. I used to when we take those little tests, them little bubble tests. I would basically go down and mark to the left and mark to the right. I wouldn't take it. And I did. And my teacher, you know, and I would be getting like 80 percentile. And I'm like,
He's a good guy.
you know,
All of them are bad.
and because the only things that I liked was math and reading. So those are the only parts that I took. You know,
A few more.
but
I know quite a few.
it just doesn't make any sense to me how we sit around and talk about this
He
testing.
wouldn't even entertain
I'm
it.
still for us having our own schools.
Two things.
Trying to throw them a ball.
Down there,
They keep
segregated.
them busy.
I agree.
No, because this goes back years.
Asa Hutchinson is the biggest. He is the biggest
Hey, what
charlatan
up, Tay?
on this side side of the mountain.
Tay, can you hear me?
Yeah.
That's the whole experience of school.
Well, some of
Yeah, I'm
it is
doing my
how
radio
they
show
live
right
it.
now.
They don't pass tests because they don't have things. They don't have. I met a few
Yeah,
kids.
do it every day for Florida
I was
too.
dropped right in the projects. I never knew anything about it.
Hey, yeah, I think we go. Hey, look, I gotta ask you something. You know,
I never.
I'm gonna get you into some. I'm trying to.
Kids don't even eat.
Oh, I know.
They say, I won't eat
Call you back.
tomorrow.
I'll call you back.
That's the governor's proclamation for
All right, I'm gonna hit you
Yeah,
back. I
that
got
he
somebody.
signed.
You might want to.
that I ripped him on that too. See, I said the other day, Asa is a smooth
Oh,
devil.
he's very.
He's a smooth
very
devil.
charming. You hear me?
I'ma tell you,
Like this.
you know,
right.
just like this refugee thing. He's smooth, dude. He's smooth. Cause he tried to play both sides, but then when you look at the legislation that he signs, it is a dagger in the hearts of all of us.
I know. And look, you know what they complain about people pushing buggies out of these stores now? Remember when I talked about food stamps? Yeah. They permanently closed.
All right, we're back. If you missed the break, it was pretty exciting, wasn't it? That's why you ought to be streaming the show.
Yes.
Make sure you download that Joynet Radio app. It's Black Focus Radio, our issues, our solutions, our voices, the second hour of the show. Robert Webb, Keisha Cobb, Zelda is with us today, our new guest, and Cliff May, and Robert's flirting with Cliff, and all that stuff. Showing off
How
his
you doing,
boots.
Robert? How you doing?
You know,
What up, Cliff?
Two beautiful
Hey.
women in the studio.
I'm telling
What
you.
up, Cliff?
You want to share hats?
What's your hat? Yeah.
Oh,
Let's share a hat.
Wow.
oh man.
You little hater.
Hey, I got my boots on too.
Man, poke my eyeball out with a plastic fork.
You little hater.
Anyway, so we were talking a little bit about
Oh, yeah.
schools because,
Join in.
and just to, you know, just to catch people up, you know, you went to Linda Chesterfield's thing last night,
Yeah.
and you went to Joyce Elliott's. Before you get into Linda Chesterfield, what we need to do is schedule Joyce on the show.
Okay.
Okay, anytime soon, because certainly I personally, the show is not endorsing her, but I personally support.
You
Joyce.
can't do that right now, Dave. We don't do that. Because, Dave, we don't endorse candidates. Like, I was a host for her
Wait a
campaign,
minute, hold on.
but
You
we
are?
Can I
don't
get
we
a tweet?
don't endorse candidates
did I-
because I was hosting her campaign.
Did I say?
yesterday,
Did I say?
and Joyce Elliott is a fantastic candidate for Congress. But, Dave, we just don't do that.
I
kind
just
of thing.
said this show is not.
That's right. We don't endorse
But
candidates like
Are
I.
you badgering?
But I
the host?
personally.
Dave, you can't do that because Dave, I was on her campaign yesterday.
Hey, did I ever tell y'all?
I am down with
Did I ever
Joyce
tell y'all how I met
Badgering
Joyce
the
Elliott?
host.
Did I ever tell y'all the story of meeting Joyce
Yeah, you
Elliott?
told me you had the house for Joyce.
No, I had just moved down. You know, look. By the way, what's the sister name? Gosh, Ayanna Presley. Have y'all seen her story? She suffers from alopecia.
Oh yeah, I saw
What's
it.
alopecia?
Alopecia is where your hair falls out. And it was a very poignant video that she did with her hair and without her hair. And I'm gonna tell you, that bald headed sister looked good.
Yeah, she was beautiful. Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you, she looks good. You know what she reminded me of?
Who?
Black Panther.
All right.
Okay.
Have you seen it? Don't be trying to get that look, roll your eye,
Did you
okay.
see it?
Have you
Did
seen
see
it?
the lady?
What, Black Panther?
No,
I saw
Ayanna
Black
Presley.
Panther. Hey, now the scene I love the Black Panther.
Which
Okay,
one?
my bad.
We ain't talking about that.
Okay,
I'm
what
talking
we
about Ayanna Presley. But anyway, the point
talking
of
about alopecia. I haven't seen the video.
it is a really poignant video.
You got alopecia
Joyce,
And
right there. Okay.
Oh yeah.
He got alopecia.
so
No, he
but
has
but
male pattern baldness. It's two different things.
Oh, Jesus.
It's two different things, you guys. I wasn't being funny.
But anyway, here y'all go.
This is your information.
Okay.
No, that ain't alopecia, dog. You just
But-
going ball,
Yes,
player.
What I was saying is that we
What I
need to
said
get
was,
Joyce Elliott on.
Yeah, get Joyce on. That's
Okay,
what's up, yeah.
and I met Joyce Elliott when I first moved to Little Rock, and she was downtown. And you know, Joyce Elliott has a nice short haircut,
Yes.
and she was downtown. I forgot what store, and I saw her, and I walked up to her and said, "You're a nice looking sister. I love your hair." I didn't know that was Joyce Elliott because I had just moved back.
Right.
And then, of course, when she first came on the show, we kind of related to that, and you know what I'm saying.
Oh,
You know,
yeah, that's
Wow.
Ain't nothing, look, I'm gonna tell you, ain't nothing wrong with a sister that has short hair. I'm gonna tell you, look, a black sister
Dang.
can have hair or no hair.
Why are you sexualizing a black woman?
I'm not.
I like where you
I'm
go.
talking about her
What's going on,
beauty.
She can have
See,
hair or no hair. Go
That's
ahead.
what I'm saying. Black
Come on,
women,
Dave.
black women are beautiful, no regardless. You see these two black women right here? We got one that's chocolate.
Stop, I'm almost
We got one that's chocolate, and we got one that's like caramel,
creamy vanilla.
creamy vanilla.
Just a
You know what I'm
Creamy
saying?
vanilla?
You know, kind of like a cappuccino. That's what's so beautiful about black women.
A power shot.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Used to have
Oh, suck it, suck it, suck it. You know what I'm saying?
Dang, oh my
That's
God.
what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
It's getting hotter, her. Take off all your clothes. Gee whiz.
Let me watch.
So I'm just saying.
scary.
But anyway, that was my story about Representative Joe. Future Senator.
Oh, I missed all that when they started doing that
Yeah,
thing.
you know, I saw your eyes kind of roll back in your head.
Like my eyes glazed up. I was looking at them like,
Did-
dang.
Did you see the bottom of your brain?
I did.
Wasn't much there, was it?
Don't do it like this, Dave.
All right, so let's get back. So you were talking about Senator Chesterfield.
Yeah, well, the point I was trying to make, man, is that, you know, you, in a sense, you burnt 4 years. You burnt 4 years because Senator Chesterfield said it's all about test scores, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, again, you just burnt 4 years. So now you spend the next 2 years trying to get the test scores back up.
Mm-hmm.
Because essentially, I guess the governor told her, if you want the schools out of distress, or if you want them out of state control, get the scores up.
Okay.
Well, scores were low when they were in state control. So what's
Well,
up with
I
that?
think they're saying,
Good question. I mean,
because they're having a conversation now about, or everybody's been talking about they want local control back, but nobody's ever received a hard answer to how do you get the local control back.
Right.
I think Senator Chesterfield just got that answer. What you got to do to get control back and get the control back is getting the test scores up. So she brought Charity in, who's doing some really good work with helping kids take tests, and so that's where we are now.
So here's my comment on that. Last week, the Independent School District of Houston, Texas, launched a lawsuit against the state of Texas because the state of Texas has been trying to take over their schools. Let me say that again. The Independent School District of Houston, Texas, launched a lawsuit against the state of Texas for trying to take over their schools. So forget this test score stuff. See, Asa Hutchinson is nothing but a smooth-talking, split-tongued devil. I've said it before because Asa Hutchinson has a way of pretending on the outside of being contrite and concerned about your community. But when you look at his legislation, when you look at what he signs, he is not. That to me, now she knows the governor better than I do, but that to me, what the governor said to her is balderdash. And I'm being nice. Because if it was as simple as that, why did it take 5 years for Asa Hutchinson to say it?
Well, hold on. No, you can't do that. Because again, you've had your advocates who've been out there advocating.
It don't matter what the advocates are
No,
saying.
No,
I think
no.
the advocates have only been advocating to get the school.
All Asa had to say
But hold on,
is that if
hold
you
on,
all
hold
are
on,
serious
hold
about
on,
getting
hold
your
on,
schools
hold on,
back,
no.
he could have said, okay, we're going to take the schools over, but if you want your schools back, we need to get those test scores up.
Wait a
They
second.
never
Wait
said
a
that.
second. No, this is the thing. This is what I talk about leadership. This is what I talk about why black people stay in the positions we're in. Right? You launch an all-out assault on an organization and you have no damn information.
Yep. What's
Nothing.
the plan?
Oh, I agree.
What's the
You
plan?
do
I agree.
You do nothing.
No plan.
But see, you saying it because you don't like black people. But
Oh my goodness.
I'm talking about Asa right now.
What?
You can't
Because
talk about
I
Asa.
can because see Asa
No.
in this whole
No.
process
No.
has been able to duck
You
and
can't do
dodge
that.
who is responsible
You
for
can't-
this situation.
You can't do that. You can't
Okay,
do that.
and the other point
Hold on,
that I
Dave.
made,
Hold on, Dave.
and wait a minute,
Hold on,
wait a
Dave.
minute.
No.
The other
If
point that I made,
if I'm in-
black people ought to be educating their own children anyway.
Okay, I'm not going to disagree with that. My
Can I
point to
put
you is this.
estrogen on the floor?
My point to you, no, not yet. My point to you is this.
And he put that finger on you too.
My point is this. My point is this.
I like that.
If I'm an advocate and I'm advocating, I got to have all lines of communication open. I can't get information secondhand. I got to be having my own conversation with the governor. I got to be having my own conversation with the director of the State Board of Education. I got to be having my own conversations with the with the school district and the legislators as well. But I got to be having my own independent conversations with them, because the first question I ask is when I'm sitting in this room is, so tell me what we have to do to get us out of state control.
But you
Hold
remember,
on.
Asa
No.
wouldn't even meet with him
What? Damn! No, I'm not gonna meet with you if you start doing all this stupid crap in the beginning.
because you hurt his feelings.
No, because you are.
Oh, you said something bad about me. I'm the governor.
No. Again, Dave. The thing I've learned.
You like
is-
Asa,
I get
don't
what
you?
No.
you're saying, Robert.
There's
You
a
like
process.
You trying to get a job with Asa?
No, there's a process.
You sure?
There's a process.
I'm just saying.
So if you're not gonna follow the process,
Protocol.
then guess what?
I know
Guess
you're a
what happens?
capitalist now, so
I'm always a capitalist, man, above and beyond. Y'all better ask somebody. Hello. But no, seriously, if you're gonna start this fight, right? So there are some avenues you have to create for yourself, because you can't be getting third party information, and you can't be getting and you can't be like the third or fourth down the trough when there are things that are happening, right? You need to be right there in the front door. And so the first question I would have had with whoever it was if I was advocating is, so tell me what we got to do to get our district back. And he says, well, you got to get the test scores up. You got to build a building. You got to, clean up all the schoolyards. Okay,
Get the
man.
teachers, weed out the teachers.
Yeah, whatever
bad
they tell,
teachers.
whatever they
But
tell us
that's an
that
interesting
is within
point.
our control. Because then we got a plan now. We know what to
So
go out and
is
do.
he
But
just
hold on,
now-
hold on.
That's
Uh-oh,
exactly
y'all,
what
the
they need.
principal.
What you noticed is
The
that
principal,
what you noticed is
JC.
Oh yeah.
the principal is walking.
Oh yeah. Hold on.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, actually. So we okay. So
okay, go ahead.
So if he gives you that, then now you have a chance to create a plan,
Yeah.
right? But the whole way through, all they've done, or all that has been done, is that we've kept talking about
want our school
give us
back.
our district.
When you
back,
say
right?
they, who are you
I
referring to?
said we.
The advocate.
I said we.
Okay.
So we kept saying, give us our district back. We did not have a conversation
The
about
plan.
a plan. We never created a plan because we never knew what the criteria was to get our district back.
Okay. So
You get that, right?
I understand.
Okay, but hold on.
Right.
So
what-
now,
so-
where we are right now,
Okay.
is that Linda Chesfield went to the governor, had a conversation.
now?
I guess so. I don't know. I can
in
only
the
say
5 years just
I
now.
can only say what she.
Just now.
Well, hold on
You gotta
now.
move
But this is the
forward.
thing. This is the thing. Everyone has taken a step back because you allow other people to move in their space, right? And you are working to support them. But at some point you realize that for whatever reason it's not working. You have to move in
Right.
a different direction. So here we are. This is where we are today. We're in a different
I have
direction.
one question. Do you
Sure.
think that the state of these schools and the communities are contributing to these low test scores?
Nah, well, after doing some research last night and reading, you'd be surprised a lot of people don't test well. They could
Right.
know all the
My son
information.
doesn't test.
They just don't test well. And they said that learning how to take a test is a skill.
It is.
It's like learning to read or learning to write. It's a skill.
Sometimes
you
it
have
is.
to you have to be taught how to take a test because not everybody knows how to take a test.
Well, and then some people have some psychological. I'm a psych major. Some people have psychological triggers when it comes to a test. It's just like being confronted. Okay. And so I remember my son being offered different ways to test. They would read it to him if they needed to. Any of the kids in class, even if you can read well, whatever it took for you to grasp that.
Right.
But back to the question, for anyone to think that, I mean, if you're living in the ghetto and you're walking to school and you got stray dogs barking at you,
No food.
or you're on a school bus and you're being bullied by other children who are unhappy at home, or they smell like pee or whatever. It don't smell like flowers and Victoria's Secrets on your bus. I mean, you're not gonna be as happy. Victoria's Secret. You okay, Robert? Yes. Don't make me do it. Listen, back to these cheering. They're not going to test. we have cheering in the Little Rock School. There are cheering there. We're trying to get these children to pass these tests, and I do think we need to pay attention to their experiences in the community, not just at home.
Isn't that what you used to say,
And
Robert?
at the
You done turn
school.
the exactly. If a kid is hungry, I don't care what kind of test taking
He is
skills you
not
give
gonna
him,
do well.
he ain't gonna do well.
And
Period.
stressed. And sometimes they have parents that are abusing them.
Isn't that what you usually say, Robert?
Nobody's home.
You usually say that.
If little Johnny just witnessed
JJ.
his little JJ or little Pookie Nookie or whatever, he just witnessed his daddy beating up his mama, he ain't gonna test
Or his
well.
uncle got killed by the police.
Exactly, he's not gonna test well. So to simply
And
just
we're not attacking you.
no, we're not. So don't.
No, it's okay. I
You're
know
looking
it's
little crestfallen
No, 'cause
over
I
there.
love your point. I love you. I love
Oh.
you too. Y'all my people.
But what I'm saying is
Y'all
this.
my people.
It's for the governor just to simply throw out where you got to get those test scores up, but you're constantly cutting food stamps.
Every-
You're
oh my God,
you're constantly cutting the child's
All
health care.
all public
You're
health.
constantly cutting anything that will support him. Both physically and psychologically, and for you to throw out, well, you just got to get those test scores up, like that's something simple. That's why I told you he's a smooth talking devil. And if you don't look into what he's saying, then you believe that crap. He has no intentions whatsoever, because he could have said that a long time ago.
But again, David. Again, I'm telling you, that goes back to leadership.
Right.
How can I want to change something if I'm not having conversation with the people? I mean, in every situation,
True.
you got to identify who the players are, right?
Exactly.
So once you identify who the players are, I need to cultivate relationships with those
get in the
players.
game.
Yeah, I need to cultivate relationships with those players before I start having public displays and making public comment.
I agree with that, but if that main player has no intention.
You keep trying to put this back on him.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
No, let me
Who
tell you
took
why
the
I'm not letting
schools
you do
over?
that. No.
Who took
I'm
the
not letting you
schools
do
over?
that. I'm not letting you do
Who
that.
took the schools over?
David,
We're talking about black folk.
Who took the schools over?
Oh.
We're talking about the
Does the
control
attorney,
of.
because I may be ignorant to this, does the Attorney General how involved is she?
She isn't.
She's not involved at all.
No, this is
not
the
in
governor's making.
Governor.
This is the and then let us not forget the elephant in the room.
Is what?
Michael Keys.
Walmart.
Yeah, I said Walmart.
Okay.
Michael
Okay,
Keys.
so let's back up, y'all, because I understand everybody wanted to point fingers at Walmart.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
No,
Oh,
I
But
don't mind.
I want us.
Why are you doing this today?
I know, I'm not doing
Why
it.
are you trying to be a contrarian?
I'm not trying to be a contrarian. I want us to go
His
back.
name is Robert
Hold on.
Webb.
I want us
Flood
to
his
go-
Facebook
I want
page.
us to go
I
back.
can't
nice
wait.
pictures, y'all.
No, I want us to go back
Put some pictures
and
in boots.
I want,
Boots up
I
and
want
for
us-
Come on, we're
walking.
talking about this school stuff.
yeah, seriously.
Let's
I
keep
want
moving.
us to go back and look at how the whole thing started out, right? So if you're no, I'm talking about when
You're right, Cliff.
in January
Drop
20,
some knives
20
on
2015. So January 28,
Cheers.
2015, they took over our district, and it has been a slow burn, right? It's been a slow burn because
Okay.
What did they do though when they took over?
They
The
took
test
over the
scores got
district.
worse.
But Dr. Samanga made an interesting point.
are you ever going to let me finish my thought?
go ahead.
Thank you, black man.
Are you going to say something about the law firm that they were paying and all that money?
Yeah, exactly. Oh,
Right.
Because it sounds like to me you sit up and trying to make excuses
No,
for
I'm
the
not trying to
government.
make excuses. What I'm trying
He
to
do
do.
work for the government. Aisha, whatever his name is.
Oh my goodness.
Just like you work for that man. No, I want us to focus on what
it
we.
sounds
I want us
like
to
it.
focus on our thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And by our thing, I want us to focus on our advocates because we have to challenge them to be better. And my point is that we've burnt 4 years to get here, and I include myself in that. I include myself in
So
that.
you
We
think
burnt
we were
4
So
years.
when you first met me and we started talking about this issue, what did I say
About what?
about the schools in Arkansas? What did I say?
I don't remember. Remind me.
I said they need to sue the state.
Yeah.
Remember that
Yeah,
conversation?
but this is the thing. This is the thing, though. This is the thing. Okay, so Linda had a different type of meeting last night. It wasn't really any different than all the others. The only thing that was different is that they brought in our state rep from Earl, which is Clinton County. They brought in Vivian Flowers, who was from Jefferson County. They brought in Murdoch, who represents part of St. Francis County. And I'm trying to think. And they brought, I can't think of the other guy, but he represents part of Deshae County, like Gould and all down through there, right? Now, this is what was interesting to me. Okay, you ready for this? If you have five counties, Arkansas has 75 counties, but if you have 5 counties, who are already feeling this pain, right? Then I would think that you would form some kind of group, some kind of movement, because they're having the same issues. They're taking over St. Francis County. They're taking over. They haven't taken over Gould County, but they're making all of these. They're closing schools and all that kind of stuff, right? So they're doing this in all these different places. The thing now becomes, whether you're black or white, it now becomes, why are we not fighting collectively? We're all trying to fight independently. And Linda said something very interesting last night. She said when the state took over Pulaski County, nobody was like, oh, we got to help them. And so now that they've taken over Little Rock, people are like, shit, when we was on our own, y'all wasn't nowhere around. Why should we be there for y'all now, right? It's about time that we come together and we got to start fighting against them. It's not us against each other. It's us against them. And unfortunately, what has happened is that we have started to fight against each other. And as long as we keep fighting against each other, they're going to continue to win.
David, look at me.
That's true.
Okay.
David.
So,
Even though I know David wants to talk about all
He
this other
is
stuff.
about to get
so
it.
here's my point.
Okay.
Okay.
That this is Walmart. Period. Okay? This is Walmart funding the governor, funding right-wing Republicans, because their agenda for the last 25 years has been to take over schools, to privatize schools. Now, Dr. Semenya said something very interesting yesterday that hit me like a ton of bricks. He said that outside legislators outside of Atlanta are trying to do what to the airport now? Since Maynard Jackson started that airport, white legislators have been trying to take it over or take it from Atlanta. And those people in Atlanta have been fighting tooth and nail for years to keep that from happening. Now, ever since 1957, here in Little Rock, the whole agenda for the right-wing establishment was to tear up desegregation in Little Rock. That's been their whole goal since 57. And we have sat around and we go to parades and we do all this other mess and we don't understand their agenda. And we sit around, at some point, if you got an adversary, you're either gonna have to fish or cut bait, okay? The reason Russia don't bomb America is because America has a nuclear weapon. The reason America doesn't bomb Russia is because Russia has a nuclear weapon. So if we're not willing to fight for what is ours, even though we need to, look, what does the government say? We negotiate from a seat of strength. We have no strength in our community. We have no people that are willing to stand up to this governor. This man has been lying for 5 years. As a matter of fact, when I first moved back, nobody ever mentioned what Asa Hutchinson was doing to the school system. Even when we went to those, that's why I stopped going to those things. When I went to that event at the Capitol, everybody was talking about Walmart. We knew Walmart was funding it, But we also had to understand that they had to get the okay from Asa Hutchinson. This ain't about Johnny Key. This ain't even about Mike Poore. This should have been, and it has always been, about Asa Hutchinson. And nobody wants to do that because we as black people too busy want to get along to get along. It's time out for that. You're either going to fight or you're going to get ran over. And right now, this city is being ran over by white politicians. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. And nobody wants to say it. Nobody wants to talk about it. I admire what some of the black politicians are doing, but at the end of the day, you should have been calling meetings every week. Hey, we meeting here. This is what we're going to do. Here's our plan of action. 5 years hence, what good is that? This is not going to do anything. And then the other point that I've made over and over again, that okay, how do you beat them at their own game? All right? Black churches, let's put together a conglomerate and let's open up some black schools. Let's open up our own charter schools. Let's educate our own children. Okay? So as soon as we start doing that, you know what's going to happen? Charter schools will disappear. But we haven't even attempted to do that. And I'm going to tell you right now, there's a sister sitting in this studio who attempted to do that very thing.
Yeah.
Who?
Speak, my love.
No. And what happened?
I would say I was bullied for one.
By who?
Huh.
By who?
The person that's, I think he's the superintendent right now.
Michael Poore.
Really?
Yep.
How did he bully you?
The person that was there with me was asked to leave the room because he was asking some very valid questions about the school district. I was presenting on.
What were you? Okay, go
What
ahead.
school
Start.
was that? Was that him? What school? Franklin.
Was it Franklin? Yeah.
Franklin Elementary, and which is terrible right now.
Okay, so start over.
Awarded-
Start over and give me some.
Well, when I saw the opportunity, it was the day before, so I put a quick proposal together, and I'm not too involved in the whole political charter school, not charter school, whatever. I was thinking from a parent standpoint about the children, because the children don't know if their school is a charter school or not.
The
So
children don't know if
that's-
their schools suck, right?
They don't.
Yeah.
Honestly, they don't.
They don't?
They think it's best. I went to Harris Elementary, and now I'm looking back like I can't believe we went to school there. But anyway, I'm like, there were children there that was crying. I don't want to leave my teacher. Okay, parents that were saying that. And so I proposed to keep it open as a charter school, and then we can eventually put it back in the school system if that's what you want. But let's think about the children. And that was fine. There were a few
Oh, I see
people
why
that
they didn't
were
like
there.
your plan.
But I still did not need to be bullied. There were a couple people that supposedly was shaking my hand. One girl turned her back to me in front of everyone.
Who was she?
I won't say any names, but
Tell
I will
me her
never
name.
forget
Wow.
Tell me-
that. I will
she
never
turned
forget
she
that.
turned
I
her
walked
back
up
to
to
you.
her and was talking to her in front of Joyce Elliott. Joyce Elliott was pretty nice. And Pamela Smith was standing there, and this girl walked up, and I was like, "Hi, how you doing? I'm Keisha Cobb." She's, I'm talking to her. She turned her back to me.
Who
in
was
that
she?
Circle. So anyway,
Who was she?
Poor asked my goddad to leave
Why won't you tell us who she was?
because I'm
She's being nice.
yeah, I'm being nice. It's
Will you
not
tell me?
gonna hold
Will you
the
tell me
grudge.
after the show?
Yes, and I understand
Okay.
that she was being passionate, but you never know who you talking to.
Exactly.
Okay? Because, see, I have nothing against the governor. I understand politics and everything. I will make an appointment and go speak with him and
Right.
see what, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? That's what I'll do. And so,
So you made your
anyway,
proposal.
I did propose. The proposal went very well. Some of the other people that
Didn't know this
proposed
sister was that
against
smart.
me,
I get smart people on my
I
show.
got it. I got it.
I still ain't figured out why you on here.
I think they were against Watershed being over there because they didn't want that activity in their neighborhood. Totally
Watershed.
understand-
Okay. Okay. Gotcha.
Totally understandable. You know, like a lot of homeless people come or people who are indigent come and get food. I wouldn't want that in the middle of my neighborhood either. Okay, I get that. But the opposite, the building is so big, there's already a health clinic on site. So the person that I think got the bid before me, and which shouldn't have because I had first right of refusal, and they went and changed, they went and amended and added like 2 weeks or something, 30 days onto it, so I couldn't get it. And so they awarded it to this health clinic. I'm like, there's a clinic on site already. The health clinic was in
to
my
the
You know, it was on
Yeah.
community health. Or,
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah,
But
that's
see, that was
Yeah,
almost
police.
2 years ago. The school, there people are breaking in there. It looks ridiculous over there. And now the kids
So do you still have your proposal?
We've already been thinking about it,
I
brother.
do.
Wow.
We're gonna make that
It was
happen.
an
You already
amazing.
been
Y'all, it
thinking
was an
about it.
amazing. I had a tech center on site
What?
for the community.
We'll talk about commissions later.
The tech center was going to be on site. We were going to teach agricultural studies. These for elementary children
Yeah.
and anyone in the community on the weekends. Most people do not know that schools are obligated to make those buildings available on the weekends. Most people don't know that because we're paying for it. And then we were going to have a health clinic on site. No one was objecting. There was one guy that asked, "What's your education level?" I said, "I'm seeking my bachelor's right now in entrepreneurship and innovation." And he just kind of like,
Okay.
like he wished I had a doctorate degree. But my proposal was a lot better than the young lady that had her doctorate degree.
So you did yours the night before.
No, it was, we all presented the same
No, I'm
thing.
saying
It
you put your plan together the night before.
I did.
That's what's up.
Actually, and then they came and interviewed me at school, Channel 4, I believe.
Yeah.
They were
Really?
excited about that. Yeah, but I
We
mean,
need
it's
to
just
do that
sitting there.
again. We need to propose that.
Yeah.
Okay, so after that, Mike Porras said that he would not be accepting any of the proposals, and then after that, they awarded it to her. So
Wow.
So the point
I
that
knew
I've
nothing
been making
about that opportunity.
is
after.
that we should have been down there. Look, at the end of the day, we got to be able to play their game in order to defeat them.
I had zero support,
Okay.
by the way.
Right. So if we're not willing, because like I said, soon as black folks start going out and starting their own schools, this charter school thing will disappear.
But
Okay,
the charter schools
because-
are doing good here, from what I
Well,
see.
no,
Lisa Academy,
some of them
East
are.
End.
Some they've just
They
closed.
don't.
And we don't-
They're not under the same. They're not under the same
Right,
criteria.
they're not on the same criteria. Plus, we can't. The public
Under the
can't
same
see
criteria
the
as the
kid.
public schools do?
Oh no, not at all. Not at all. We don't know what their grades are. They're not under this same
Right.
thing as
With
far
the
as
teachers
failing
and stuff
schools
like
and
that.
things of that nature as
So
well.
that was in my proposal.
So we just had, what was the name of the school that they finally closed? And the lady was, they say she ended up, embezzling some money. What was the name of that school?
A charter
Was it?
school?
Oh, it wasn't Oath Keepers. It was. What's the name of that school
wow.
that the black lady did
I don't know.
that they just closed? Someone help me out who's listening to the show. What was the name of the?
in Pulaski County?
Yeah,
Covenant keeper.
Covenant Keepers.
Oh.
Covenant Keepers.
Yeah,
Okay.
She took all the money.
Yeah.
So,
So allegedly took all the
allegedly
money.
she took all the money.
Okay. So my
No,
point.
you do have federal. You have some oversight with state and federal. It's not just private.
Well,
'Cause
you
are
do have some,
receiving-
yeah.
You receive money from
Right.
the state, just like a school does, just not as much per
But you
child.
have oversight on the money, but there's not much oversight on the
Regulations with-
outcomes.
It's not, regulations
Okay.
with employees and all that stuff.
Right, and as far as grades and stuff like that as well. So my point is this, and I know a lot of public school. Look, I'm a product of public schools, Little Rock Central.
Oh.
My point is this: is that if I want to be rich, then I surround myself with people who understand money. Okay, if I wanted real estate, I talk to people who know real estate. If we want to do a better job with our kids, then we got to understand what's going on in this country. As I said over and over again, that the charter school horse is out the barn. It ain't going back in. All right? So we need to learn how to use what they're doing to benefit our children, as opposed to, look, it's okay to have part of your group fighting for public schools, but there should be another part of that group who should be saying, okay,
Doing something. that
let's
works.
go and set up our private schools ourselves.
For me, it only makes sense if the
Okay,
public schools are
you see what I'm
failing.
saying? And there's no sense with all these black churches in this city, and because this is not just happening in Arkansas, it's happening across the country. With all these black churches, I don't understand why black churches haven't come together and said, "Hey, we're going to set up our own school." It doesn't make any sense to
I
me.
know
The Lord
I know
hath not
several
told
in
me.
Texas, but-
It doesn't make any sense to me. So again, it goes back to leadership. It goes back to understanding how to use the laws to benefit our people against them. because they certainly use them against us to
Exactly.
benefit themselves.
Prepare them for a successful life.
Exactly.
Okay, with this state of Arkansas executive department proclamation by the governor, did you read this?
I know, I don't read that crap.
There is a clause that says by Asa Hutchinson.
I know who it is.
Okay.
Yeah, it says children have the right to be provided every opportunity to learn, grow, and thrive in nurturing environments
He's a smooth
that
devil,
do
ain't he?
not violate their safety, dignity,
Smooth.
and humanity. But
Okay.
this is a proclamation
Exactly.
that says it's a national day of racial healing in the state of Arkansas. So this was targeting minority
Well,
groups, and I like that. That's beautiful.
but think about this. What you just read, what has Asa Hutchinson done to ensure that paragraph?
Yeah.
Not a damn thing.
And well, hopefully, because we have how many more years with him?
This-
Hopefully, if
this
he
is two.
hasn't done
Is it two?
anything, he will do some things.
You
because
think
this
he's
is
gonna do
very-
something?
I don't know. I hope so.
Okay.
This is, people
Let me ask you
very
something.
involved.
What did Muhammad Ali say? He say, if I'm sitting up here and
Float like a
a herd of a group of snakes come down the aisle
Snakes, yeah.
and one of them doesn't bite me, should I not be concerned about the other snakes that?
You better.
I rest my case. I'm sorry. I'm at a point now. I don't trust them. Period. I don't trust government. Period. I don't care if you're a Democrat.
Period.
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 They say
Period.
you know you're on the list
You know,
of the Little Rock, the Arkansas census of people who
Hey.
probably will not fill it out.
Don't trust government. Government.
Don't trust
I'm definitely gonna do the census.
I'm gonna do the
The
census.
census is very important.
It's important to
You gotta do the
us.
census.
We got to do
but
that.
you guys know that you can fill the census out and show that you have 80% minorities in your city. It's up to city council or city policy makers to invest that money correctly.
Again, I don't trust
Okay.
government. Period.
They can get the money for
Okay.
you and your
So-
neighborhood is still flooded.
That's all the more
Oh my
reason.
gosh.
Look,
Yeah.
this has to be a grassroots effort. Look, we should stop, and I think you made an excellent point on the show yesterday. Instead of, I believe that was you.
I'm
Because,
sure.
well,
I'm
you
sure
don't
it
make
was.
many, so that's why I'm still a little
Oh,
foggy.
okay. Wow.
You did good today.
Yeah, he did. I'm proud.
Yeah, you were
Yeah,
very
he-
profound today.
But if we're not willing to do at least,
Jesus.
no one should be able to say, "Hey, I'm running for office.
I mean, it is too heavy. It's too
Okay.
heavy. It's Friday. It's too heavy. This is.
I'm running for office. I'm gonna run for office."
Okay.
And then you look at him or her and you say, "Okay, bro, sis, what you do for the community?" Y'all get my point?
Yeah, but that's what Doc said yesterday. Doc said,
Oh yeah,
"We
that's what
are
Doc was
not
saying. Yeah.
hiring advocates. We are hiring. We're not hiring advocates. We just hiring folks.
That's what
We
I'm
just-
saying.
We just putting folks in office.
minute.
Yeah,
Ain't
he
done-
my friend. Y'all both are my
Yeah, He
friend.
my friend. He my cousin.
You know,
I
I
used-
like him.
I used to work for him.
You know,
I was his,
right.
I was
Yeah.
his
The
assistant.
reason I'm supporting Joyce Elliott because in the 5 years that I've been here, Joyce has been kicking ass and taking names.
Exactly.
Joyce and
Working.
And Linda
Joyce and
Chesterfield.
Linda Chesterfield.
Those are
have
the
been-
only two.
And before John
I second
died,
that, David.
John Walker, who they were in there
Oh.
fighting a good fight.
Exactly.
But again, they are a byproduct of
Now,
all
John
the
Walker
things we're
was
talking about.
Zelda's really good friend too.
Oh, a very good friend of mine.
Yeah, I love
And that's what I
Zelda.
said. People are jumping on the tails trying to get in office, and I'm like, and you don't know anything about it. I'm
Hello.
confused about that.
Hello.
Yeah.
I'm
How
just
does that
saying.
make you, the person that should sit in that great seat,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm confused.
But the point is that people in Little Rock simply accept it
They're going to vote for
as
it.
opposed to simply saying, "Hey,
This is what's required.
what you done in the community,
What
dog?
have you done?
What? We have to get out of electing our buddies.
Yeah,
They
right.
tell you all the time, you don't go in business with your family.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's a reason why.
But the thing is,
It's called identity
You-
politics. By the
you
way.
are my
It is.
if you my boy, that's cool, right? But I can't be down with you and forsake my whole black community. And that's what that's what I don't get. But like I said,
What
Doc,
do you
this
mean?
is because when you support somebody who you know shouldn't be, who have not prepared
That's
themselves to be
ridiculous.
there,
Yeah.
then essentially you saying
Everyone's
screw
gonna suffer,
the
right?
whole community because they're not prepared to
Just
lead.
because they
Yeah.
know somebody that knows somebody. I was the assistant, okay. You were
Yeah.
the assistant.
What have you done?
What have you done?
Yeah.
But again, that's up to us. You know, and look, as I said when we first started having them on the show, this ain't personal.
No,
No,
it's just real.
they're probably great people individually.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like, you know, me hiring someone to come in and fix these computers, and the only education they have or only jobs they've ever had was working at a kitchen. That doesn't make any sense.
And you like her eyebrows or something.
And I like her eyebrows.
And
Yeah.
she's cute
Yeah,
or something.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
If Little Rock is going to move forward,
Right.
yes, sister girl, mama. Okay. So you got me shaking over here. But what I'm saying is that and this is not just endemic of Little Rock. This is across. Look, I've lived
Really?
across this country, and for whatever reasons, black people we don't even vet our leaders.
No, we don't vet them.
We don't vet our own leaders.
Because
Hey, I know them. I'm
because yeah, exactly.
And then if we ask them questions, look, if I ask you a question that is going to affect my community and you get mad at me, that should tell you something about that person that's trying to run.
Yeah.
You should say, well, if you don't know the answer, be honest and say, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I'll look into it. But if you know an answer, or at least you should have some semblance of knowledge as it relates to what's going on in the black community.
Well,
After all, you black.
community, not only in the black community, you also need to understand how the place that you're going to work operates.
Exactly.
And how can you make improvements
Exactly.
once you get there? Because if you go somewhere and you don't understand how the system works, and you realize that, okay, I can't get any votes, what areas are there that I can manipulate or who I can work with or partner with to make improvements in my community? So, I mean, it's like you send people there who they have no clue.
And we get what we get.
And you get what you deserve.
Nothing passed. No laws.
No laws
implemented,
passed. And then you
nothing.
look and you go back and look at their record, and all you
I
see
see why.
is that they submitted a thing for their sorority to adopt a piece of highway.
Yes,
You know,
exactly.
I mean,
Right.
So wrong.
Oh, you don't like sororities?
I'm not
like
saying
them.
that. I'm just saying,
But he's right.
but that's the bulk of their
That's
of their legislation that they've introduced.
And
I
they get on the
am a
microphone and tell
sorority.
you.
That's my sorority.
You're in a sorority?
No, she said that's what they say.
That's what they say.
But I mean, I heard
That's
about.
my
I heard
sorority.
someone running for a
Wow.
district.
Oh.
What we doing? I need to hold on. Okay, I got.
Do we need to take a pause for the cause?
We're good.
okay,
What are they
okay,
talking
okay,
about?
Okay, let me
What y'all
talk.
talking
Hey,
about?
y'all know I'm ready at any time.
What are they
What y'all talking about?
What are you
Just-
guys talking about?
just-
We were
How you
talking
do it?
about.
There you go. Yes.
Y'all nasty, man. Y'all nasty.
Anytime
Y'all
someone
so
who's running for
nice.
any kind of office gets up here and says, "I can't make any promises."
No
but-
suggestion.
Excuse me.
No suggestions.
No, I said I can't make any promises.
No promises. Nothing.
I'm, like,
I'm just
I'm
running.
glad I don't live in that
You just
district.
got to have some
Hey, I
semblance
do. So.
of what's going on in your community, and you got to be able to
Do they
speak.
even live in
You got to be able to speak truth to
No.
power.
Always.
You got to be able to do that. You can't be afraid of that. And it's sometimes you're gonna offend your adversary, but oftentimes in today's time, they need to be offended. They need to be offended because I want to offend you to the point where I want you to come and talk to me.
Yeah.
Okay, that's why this door is open. Republican Party,
Yeah.
Chairman of the Republican Party, Asa Hutchinson, French Hill, any of you black folks who are carrying the Republican water, anytime you want to come on this show and talk to me and talk to my audience, the door is wide open. Number 615-554-0568. Because the person that can't stand on his principle and talk about his principles are not worth a damn.
Wow.
Period.
He said that.
And that's the reason that you see them. They don't want to go and talk to
Yes.
radio stations or people that don't agree with them. I want people to disagree with me. I want you to disagree with me because with disagreement, there's an opportunity for learning.
Dialogue.
You see what I'm saying? If we can't dialogue with one another, then what can we do? That's all I'm saying.
I like dialoguing with you.
Thank you. I like that.
It's really good. I
You
love
do.
it. This
Isn't
is my
it
first
nice?
time, and I really enjoyed
Oh, well,
it.
thank
He
you.
has
Thank you,
great
Zelda.
dialogue.
I try very hard.
Yeah, you're great.
I like to be a learned black man.
Yeah.
Yes, that is such a wonderful.
Unlike Robert's good today. He's had a lot of great points today.
Well, he's learned from being on the show with me
Robert,
over the
what does
years.
Yeah.
stand for all of this?
Jesus.
Denver Broncos, maybe.
Doofus.
Oh man.
That's so hard, Harry. Notice he didn't answer. You tell me after the show.
Just use your Just use your imagination.
Holler at me, okay?
Just use your imagination. Just
I
my
did.
imagination.
Hey.
By the way, the Grammys are going to be featuring Prince. They're going to do all the Prince. I won't be watching
What are you gonna have one?
Why?
Why
They-
gonna perform?
Why they?
because you can't perform Prince's stuff. Only
I
one
mean,
person.
how can they do that?
He
Yeah.
is so specific.
You know.
I love your
They
passion.
can do
No,
white,
Prince is Prince.
a white tribute.
In fact, after Prince performed on the Super Bowl, I stopped watching Super Bowl halftimes. There's never
it was
been.
over.
You know, it was over.
This is hard.
It was. I mean, and it was so heavenly and angelic when he was singing Purple Rain, and it started raining. Oh, it was.
That was over.
So you guys realize we
It was
grew
better than Janet Jackson.
with Prince, and he was so
Is it that bad?
Oh, I
That
know.
was bad, Robert.
We never had an issue with Prince wearing heels.
Do not say this. Do not say this.
Okay.
Do not do this.
Okay.
Prince, the
I
one
love
thing he was
Prince.
not was gender fluid.
No, he wasn't.
Prince was all about some women.
I don't
baby.
want to.
Yes, exactly.
Guy.
want to admit.
Apollonia.
No. Oh.
Come on,
But
seriously.
he was gender fluid.
How? No, he did not. No, he did not.
No.
Prince was a man.
Yeah,
These
Prince.
guys are.
I am a boy.
You have no idea.
Calm
Prince
down.
Do not
was
do that.
the.
Oh, I do.
Prince was a
He
man.
has the whole documentaries, and then his wives talked about the fun. Yeah.
Yeah, I bet they do.
Fluid
Yeah.
fun that they had.
Dig yourself a
But he
picture.
experienced some trauma early that kind
There
of.
was this girl named Nikki. I guess you could say she was.
Hey.
I met her in a hotel lobby.
With a magazine.
Okay, back to the show.
We got me on Prince. I'm sorry. I mean, I don't really like Prince
So
either.
much
Wasn't like-
distraction today.
There's
y'all.
some time and I could
Robert,
not
I just
resist.
noticed you got some.
When I
You
heard
got some.
the
You got some
From the
LGBT
month-
cufflinks on.
Yeah.
The what?
Wow,
You got some
LGBT
LGBT
colors.
cufflinks on.
Look at them.
I
They're
just noticed
red,
that.
yellow, all different multicolors.
Hold on, let me correct y'all right away.
LGBT.
Let me
Look, all I
correct
said
y'all right
was
away.
Robert, okay?
Let me correct y'all right
That's
away.
alphabet cuffs.
Okay.
Don't no damn body own the rainbow. That's the damn rainbow. Don't nobody own the damn rainbow.
That's right. Well, I don't.
Why you
No.
getting upset, dog?
Yeah, why you
Let me
mad?
say, because
Why you get upset?
these are not L whatever it is. cufflinks.
LGB.
These are rainbow.
LBGTQ.
LBGTQ, okay.
On the rainbow, so it's technically not
I'm just saying.
good.
I just.
It's not rainbow.
What is it? What do they represent?
It's not rainbow.
I was just commenting.
Robert.
Hey, Robert, are you the red or the purple?
Robert, his eyes are red. Look,
Robert is not.
his eyes are red.
Y'all.
Robert, your
Your
eyes
eyes wear those boots and they a little square at the toe.
These boots I'm in for walking.
Yeah.
You understand what I mean?
They
With
made
square
a
toes.
like they're
I'm sorry, man. I just.
Robert is all men, y'all.
I'm sorry. They just look like the LGBTQ things.
He can represent that if he wants.
Stands for
I'm just saying.
Robert.
Dallas Cowboys.
That's not a
That's a Dallas Cowboy. That's a Dallas Cowboys hat.
That's not a Dallas
What's the
Cowboys
colors?
That's
You,
it.
you're admitting that.
colors.
I
I
thought it was,
love the
I
Cowboys.
thought it was
I do
Detroit
too.
You're
Lions.
admitting that.
I do too.
Yeah.
I'm a
Now
Cowboys
Detroit?
fan.
What?
I'm a
Detroit?
Steelers.
No.
Not
You're what?
Vitamin D.
You're what?
Steelers.
Oh, please.
Whatever.
Back about it.
Whatever.
That reminds me. Did you see Drew Pearson crying because he didn't make it up? I can't believe they did this. I mean, that's just like a damn cowboy. A teeny. I'm saying, really, Drew? Really? You crying? Hey, man, how old are you, like 90?
I didn't see that.
My team in the playoffs.
I love
Watching
Russell
the
Wilson.
I'm a dog him on the show
see.
tomorrow. I'm dogging
Why?
him. I mean, come on, dude. You crying because they didn't vote you into the Hall of Fame? Come on.
Yeah, that's wrong, man. They should have voted him in.
You crying about it?
Yeah.
Look at his eyes. are
Dude,
red.
30 years, man.
His eyes are really red.
What is this right here? What is this here, Robert?
What?
The world's smallest violin.
That was so cute. I like that.
Thank you, baby.
Wow.
You know, I ain't got no love for no Dallas Cowboys. None.
Neither do I.
None.
Hold
Neither
your
do
mule,
I.
because I don't want to hear that.
None.
No cowboys. Cowgirls. I mean,
Oh,
cowboys.
you.
Oh,
That's
sorry.
all right, hold.
I meant cowboys. Did I say
Haven't
cowgirls?
met any cowboys. They just haven't met any cowboys.
I like me some Zelda, man. I like me some Zelda.
They've never met any cowboys. They don't know.
Ooh, boy, it's the first time I've seen Robert just quiet.
He
No,
can't help it
I've
because
had that.
I think he's feeling. I think he's feeling picked on. He's got that feeling.
He's not.
Y'all stop bullying Robert.
Robert.
Oh, you think he's
Yeah, stop. He's probably feeling y'all
saying
bullying
his
him.
praises today?
You know, talking about his.
He
look.
looks good as grand.
his
Oh
look
my
hat.
God, this salt and pepper beard is everything.
All that.
You're
Yeah.
my everything.
Y'all are not funny.
Robert.
All right, so we got about 8 minutes to go in the show. What do we need to talk about that we hadn't covered? Oh, I know I was going to talk about, by the way, your president, when he killed that Iranian guy, what he didn't tell you is that he almost killed some American soldiers. So just let y'all know
They
that.
have.
You know,
And they're just not telling us.
well, it just came out that he did. There were almost 12 soldiers who actually was in the bombing area. So I'm just saying.
He doesn't care.
I know he did.
I wonder how many civilians he almost killed.
You know.
Exactly. Because he doesn't care at all.
Also, according to CNBC, a quarter of the Earth by 2050 will be African.
Wow.
Over in Nigeria.
I believe that.
So, see why you do that, man? Why you do that?
Did you see that the largest ethnic group in America is supposed to be German American?
Yeah, but they identify as white.
Thank you.
Yeah, they do.
I'm like,
Robert, would you
What's
stop
wrong
it?
with Robert?
I like that job.
What is wrong with Robert? He's
Yeah.
doing a call. He's
I
doing
encourage
some kind of
your
call.
creative
It's a
side.
call. Some kind of mating call.
Exactly. Exactly.
Kind of made me want to
I
throw
dare
up.
you.
It is. I think. What was that? Is that what kind of call is that? A mating call? I thought that was a mating call.
She wanted to be a maiden call.
No.
Zetta's like, I want you to be maiden. Is that a maiden call?
You have those. I do have those things on. I can't. I don't know.
my goodness.
Okay, I'm done with y'all, man. I'm done with y'all.
You gotta invite Zelda back, man. Zelda's gotta come back.
Oh my goodness.
I'm done with y'all,
I
man.
tried.
I'm
I
done.
tried, Robert.
Mm-hmm.
I fixed it up for you.
I'm
Everything,
sorry,
man.
I'm done, man. I'm done with y'all. I'm done
Oh,
with y'all.
oh, here's another story that I want y'all to hear this, okay? Because I need to know, and we got enough time to do this. I need to know what you would do. I mean, this boggled my mind.
Keep it.
Okay, I need to know what y'all would do. Okay, here we go. Listen to this. Hopefully, well, we need to wait because you know they run them stupid commercials. 3, 2, 1. Okay, skip ahead. Here we go.
The Habitat for Humanity restored in Owasso. Last month he purchased a couch for his man cave, and this weekend he made a shocking discovery. It was filled with thousands of dollars in cash.
I still have to push myself to make sure that I'm not dreaming or something. And
Kirby says that he had this ottoman for
Wait
a
for
few
it.
weeks before noticing that it was uncomfortable. And that's when his daughter decided to open it up.
then she started pulling out this. Oh my goodness.
A total of $43,170 was found in the ottoman cushion. But Kirby says he didn't feel right keeping the money, so he reached out to the restore to find out who had donated the couch. Turns out it was Kim Falk Newberry. The couch originally belonged to her grandfather, and he died last year.
It's just crazy.
Today, the restore held a big surprise for Falk Newberry to give back every dollar found in the cushion.
Why he's got money in cushions? I don't know.
Complete awesome. We talked about that.
Kirby says an attorney told him that he had no legal obligation to give the money back, but he felt like he had to morally. And that's something that Rick Merling, the store manager, thinks is heartwarming.
Well, David Coleman, the talk show host, don't. I'm sorry, I ain't perfect. I'm just saying.
That was too.
I mean, y'all can look at me crazy all you want, okay? But if I find $43,000
Oh no.
in a cushion a used couch, I'm just sorry. I ain't big as y'all are.
Nah, I'm keeping that.
I'm paying off my bills. You know, look at God.
Yes.
Look at him. Look at does he work?
Yeah.
Look at him working.
Won't he do it?
He sure will.
Yes.
He tried.
I'm just saying. I gave him Zelda looking at me like.
I would have kept that. I would have.
Jesus,
I'm just saying.
I gave you 43,000. You gave it back.
I know a lot.
You see what I'm saying?
Donated, so you relinquish your right on
Exactly. Now it's good that he did that, but I'm just saying if it were me,
He's a fool.
you know, I gotta think I'd be hard pressed to give back that. And you know what I'm saying? How we know it wasn't more than $43,000 in that cushion?
Right.
You get my point?
I received that.
You see what I'm saying?
Playing
Because
video.
apparently this guy was putting money in the. Did he just choose that one cushion, or did he put it in multiple cushions?
That's so sweet. Grandpa left something for the family.
Well, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
All I know is if I find the money, we wouldn't have y'all wouldn't be
In
reading
my
an article
house.
about it.
Right. In my house.
See what I'm saying? You know.
What the hell? wrong with you?
I wasn't
See,
expecting it. I thought they were gonna say he found some bed bugs. He found.
$43,000
It had to be
And
newspaper.
look, I mean,
That would still be in my house.
in a used couch.
That would be in my house safe.
look.
You see what I'm saying?
It's
Am I
easier-
wrong?
Yeah, no.
I like
Am I
that
wrong?
this happened because
No.
it's easier to get the odds of this man getting a couch with some money in it is higher than getting a house built with Habitat for Humanity.
Zelda, you look like you need you. got
Oh
something.
no. I mean, he did what he felt. His
What
heart
would you do,
was-
Zelda?
I would give it back.
You look like the person that would give it back.
Yeah, I would find. I would think that Grandpa was stashing for them. People, this kid, you know.
But he didn't know Grandpa was stashing for
No,
them.
he
just,
didn't, but
he
he-
just bought the couch.
Yeah, but he realized
kept it.
someone had to put it there, and
Look at God. Won't he do it?
Or look, what
because he
happened to all
blessed them
the-
back. Yeah, he paid it forward. Yeah,
What happened to all the universe
he'll be blessed
brings
back. I
to
promise
you
you.
what you think about all the time?
Well, you know what they should have done is that, hey, look, I'm gonna give you 10%.
Yeah, they could have given him some
Yeah.
of it.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, that.
It's kind of like the little now. I read a story where this
Can
woman.
I would have wanted some of it.
Right. Well, I read a story.
Yeah,
He probably
I
got
would've
some.
given it back.
I think he probably
You
found
would've gave
more
it
than
back?
He
40,000.
probably gave him
course.
some.
But I found
day,
so I
I
saw
would.
this story of this white kid, 14.
Note to self: if I find something with Zelda, don't tell Zelda.
But this white kid, this black lady was in Walmart, and while she had $900 in her wallet, I don't know.
That's a little different.
She dropped the wallet, and the kid found it, and he gave it back, and that's great. I understand that. I would do that too, because
What? Hold on. What?
Yeah.
yeah, this
I would
kid
give
in
it back.
Walmart. I mean, because clearly,
God was blessing him.
no, not in
God
that
was
particular
blessing
I
him.
was not.
God
not in that
didn't do
particular
it.
case.
God was. This is. Let me break this down for y'all.
I
So
can
what
go to
happened?
driver's license.
What was happening was God was
Get your
saying.
quote. Get your
God
quote
was
right.
saying,
I got
listen,
mine.
I need to teach her a lesson. And I need to bless this young man. And the lesson I'm gonna teach her is to be more careful with your money. And so God said, let it fall, and it fell, and the young man picked it up.
I didn't have a little preaching.
Look at God.
Look at God.
Won't he do it?
every day?
I'm just saying. I mean, there are certain.
Well, you know that man found some money on the floor at the bank by the door, and he got arrested for taking it.
Shit.
You know what? And he could make a very valid
I
argument.
think so. You
If he gets an
brought
attorney,
your stuff.
look, that's fine. It wasn't like he went in the bank and robbed the bank. I saw
Right.
that story.
I know.
Yeah, did y'all know what we're talking about? He didn't go in and rob the bank.
Where ATM is.
Right.
You know it wasn't his.
He went inside, and apparently someone had left some money up there, and he picked it up and walked out.
Left some money on the floor.
It was on the floor.
Yeah, she dropped
Okay,
it.
that's finders keepers.
He did not break it into.
Again, God is blessing you.
Ain't he good?
I found money before.
You found, how much you find?
10,000 in a bag.
You found what you do with it?
People I gave it back. It wasn't mine.
Was it a bank bag?
Yeah.
Well,
God was trying to bless you.
You know
God
how
was trying
they,
to bless
how
you.
they do their
God was trying to bless you.
Drop.
drops.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they lost it. At the
Yeah,
end.
so
God
that's
was trying to
different.
bless
I can
you.
understand that because as
He
a
did
bit
bless
right
me.
as a
Many
business
times
right
I-
as a business owner,
'Cause
if
I
I'm
gave it
going to
back.
make my drop and I done lost that bag, that affects not only me, that affects my employees.
Exactly.
So I understand that, but in this case with this couch,
Look at these shoes. Exactly. I gotta give it back.
well, Robert, you
I
just a
couldn't do it.
hater.
Man, dude, I just know I ain't gonna never be nowhere with Zelda when I find some money.
Cliff,
Yeah,
you got
don't
your
be
quote
around
ready?
me because I'm gonna tell on you.
Cliff, you got your quote ready?
Got your quote?
Yeah.
You didn't sound too positive, brother. Well, look, I hope y'all enjoyed the show. Don't forget to join me tomorrow morning from 8 to 10 a.m. for the weekly sports magazine. You'll be interesting to hear about North Carolina A&T offering LeBron James' son a scholarship.
Not
Wow.
the HBCU.
Yes.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
And
I bet he go. I bet he go.
and
I bet he
because
go.
knowing LeBron, I would not be
I
surprised.
bet he go.
Because LeBron James hates the NCAA. Hates
bet
the
he go.
NCAA.
I bet he go.
But anyway, tomorrow at 8 to 10 a.m., be sure you join the show. And then after that, we've got Real Talk, Real Money with David Ashley as well. So we got to get out of here.
Quote?
Yeah, that's why I met you on David's show.
It is.
Yeah, it's been a wonderful relationship ever since.
Yes, I'm thankful for you.
Yeah, I am.
I'm blessed
I
today.
am.
I was so blessed today.
Can
All
I
right.
give my quote?
Yes, ma'am, you may.
Oscar Wilde. Okay? Be yourself. Everyone else is taken.
I like that. I like Oscar Wilde, too.
He was
Yeah.
real.
Yeah, I like Oscar Wilde, too. All right, Cliff, you ready?
Yeah.
All right, come on.
I don't have one. I mean, I can say
This is a
something.
new one. Where the mind goes, the body follows.
Wow.
Don't forget to check out the Black Focus Radio Show on
That was a great quote.
Anchor and Instagram.
Great quote. Zelda, you have a quote?
Yeah, what the world needs now is love, sweet love. That's
The
what
only
we-
thing
That's the only thing that we have so
that we
little
have
of.
so little love.
I like it.
Yeah.
You see. Okay, Roberto.
Only thing we need is love.
Right.
Y'all tripping, man. Y'all tripping up in this piece today.
Crazy over here.
No. It's love.
Love,
Sweet
sweet love. It's the only thing. I used to love that song.
Y'all
Okay.
having too much
See,
fun.
Robert, I left you to almost last so you could have your quote ready. Why are you never ready?
I'm ready. Y'all just
Okay,
all
well, go
going
ahead.
real, man. Will y'all stop talking while I'm trying to do my stuff like this?
If you knew what he was showing me over here.
Yeah, man. You know what? I don't want to be a part of this little order
I want
thing y'all
you
got
to be
going
part
on.
of it.
I gotta leave.
Come on,
I
guys.
gotta roll.
You will
I
after
gotta
you finish
roll.
your quote.
Oh, okay. Here
We
you
have
go.
to look it up.
I had discovered in life there are ways of getting almost anywhere you want to go if you really want to go. That's my boy Langston Hughes.
Yeah,
All right.
the poet laureate. Love him.
Spend money on your own community, y'all. If you don't, nobody else will. Peace.
Jeez.
I see that clip. All right, so I'm going to give the quote that I gave earlier because it's so profound. The forest was
see it, let me see
shrinking,
it,
but
Cliff.
the trees kept voting for the axe. For the axe was clever and convinced the trees that because his handle was wood, he was one of them. Y'all have a great day. We'll see you next week.
Peace.
Show him the grid.
Great show. Loved it.
Our issues
Great show.
and our voices. Join us every
Wait a minute, why did you say that green though?
radio.com.
Oh, but that green. And then I told him, look, I don't come across